heard that me and you have a couple things in common. Most notably, an addiction to popcorn.
Yes, popcorn.
Yeah, I've struggled with this throughout my life, and I thought that I actually heard that popcorn makes you bloated.
Yeah,
That's got to be right. This is the question.
I'm bloated for many things. Popcorn is probably one of them.
Why does popcorn make you bloated?
Honestly, if you think about it, it's puffed corn. Any kind of starchy stuff, I find, for me personally, like I love soda crackers, unsalted soda crackers. I could eat them for days.
Oh God!
And my stomach will be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Popcorn, I think, just kind of works the same way.
I thought it was a 0-calorie ordeal. I
thought
it was
fiber,
good.
So it actually helps, put stuff down that way. But if you eat too much, like any fiber, it's gonna start to bloat up and hang out.
Yeah, doesn't it? I'm sure you can't eat it before a shoot. It's got to mess up the nutrition plan, no?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I eat that mess up my nutrition plan. But popcorn I enjoy, and I'm gonna eat it when I need it.
Screw it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I definitely have a problem. Do you know what nutritional yeast is?
Yes.
Do you like it? No?
I
your popcorn?
I have it. And
you have it?
Yes. I don't put it on my popcorn because I don't like to mess with my popcorn.
No?
No.
Salt and pepper?
Yes, olive oil, salt and pepper, maybe coconut oil,
yes.
Definitely the butter.
Do you make it in a pot, or do you make it in the actual popcorn maker?
In a pot.
Yes.
Yes. The lid has to be just a little bit off.
Right?
You got to let the air in.
Got to let the air in.
I couldn't figure out why my popcorn kept burning all the time, and then I realized.
Oh my God.
That's the trick.
I used to not do a little air, and I used to just keep the lid on tight because I thought that's how I wanted them all to pop. And then I would take the hot pot and I would put the sink on and I would run it around the edges so I could cool the edges. I didn't know what I was doing. I figured it out. So yeah, I do coconut oil in the bottom. Bam. Gives it that flavor. No.
Yeah.
Definitely adds some calories, but whatever.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper, nutritional yeast. Bam. Oh my God. Butter, a little bit, just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
We all got to sin a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe in the butter. If it's real butter, it's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So what's your nutrition plan?
I eat what fuels me. I guess what I stick to mostly is I try to drink as much water as possible. I eat as many greens as possible. You can't really go wrong with that. I'm talking spinach, some kale, sometimes broccoli, greens, and then I just eat what people would eat for food. I eat, I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. I don't go by any kind of paleo diet or anything like that. I believe that a good balance of all foods is usually pretty good, unless they irritate your stomach or they do stuff to make you feel disgusting.
Yeah, that is not a good thing.
Yeah, your body needs a little bit of everything. A lot of good, a little bit of bad. So that
a little bit of bad.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, I mean contrast for sure. Contrast is important. What's
my bad?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go.
You know what? I don't know. Like my cheat meals, I don't even call it a cheat meal because then I cheat every day. I pretty much stick to.
Got to be careful with your words on here, Carmel. You can cheat every day. I mean, come on, like, let's.
I do. So, truth be told.
Yeah.
No, I what do I eat? Morning. I have an egg or two.
Day in the life. Give it to me.
Yeah, but most times I won't eat till about 1 o'clock. So I people say, that what do you call it? The intermittent fasting.
Temporary fasting.
Yeah, I do it, but not because of that or what. My body just works that way. My routine just happens to be that I don't like to eat in the morning, and my body does well without eating in the morning. So I will have celery juice in the morning when I break it, or in the afternoon, around 12:31. I'll have a nice big 16 ounce to 24 ounce of lemon water in the morning, room temperature. If I can.
16 to 24 ounce.
Yeah. So depending
That's a lot of water.
It's a lot of
water.
water.
You're a small person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Why the lemon juice or lime? Lemon or lime?
Lemon.
Sorry. Lemon.
Yeah.
Why?
It helps the digestional system to start kind of working for the day. So that whatever I do eat goes down as best as it can.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. So eggs, you break it with the celery.
Break it with celery juice, and then
lemon.
I wait a bit for it to take its course.
Wow.
Very poetic. This is how we talk.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
And then I eat whatever. So I'm a big fan of peanut butter. I'll have peanut butter, and I'll have a whole grain English muffin. I'll have an egg with it. I have fruit all the time, and that'll be my start to the day usually. Or avocado and on toast.
Yeah.
Those are my two main ones.
Yeah.
Usually with trainers and with people that are, they stick to their programs and whatnot for fitness. They don't have a lot of really crazy awesome meals. It's usually the same thing.
Constantly.
it's
Whatever easy and quick.
And seems to work. You don't want to veer off the path of not working if you can help that.
Are you a foodie at all? Like for me, I've taken the approach of like, hey, let's eat for fuel. That's all it is. Period. And I love curries. I love Thai food. I love vegan food. Everything, literally everything.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's hard to just, like a lot of trainers will just hit you with a meal plan. It's the same thing 5 days out of the 7 days. And you're like, oh my God, how do I do this? Do you provide that at all for your clients? Is that a thing that you do? Or no,
I don't. I don't love the idea of planning meals so much. I love what it is supposed to do for you and all of that, and I try to do it as much as possible. But I'm a foodie too. I enjoy having foods that I love the taste of, and I love cultural foods. I'm a cultural person.
You're Filipino?
No, not even close.
What are you? Oh shit! God damn!
I thought you did your research.
Damn it! Nah, come on.
My mother's Malaysian and my father's French, Scottish,
What?
English. Yeah. So I
Wow.
love, again.
That's a mix.
It's a mix.
And your husband's black,
Dominican.
Dominican.
Yeah.
So your kids look amazing. You have some
They're-
beautiful mixed babies.
Thank you.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
That's the goals for sure. Damn, that's crazy.
They're
No.
alley cats. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm a white mutt. as
That's
you'd
my
say.
dad.
Yeah. That's all I am. Yeah, whatever.
They have their uses too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So sorry, you don't necessarily subscribe to the nutrition thing. I'm so surprised.
No,
though.
I do.
Okay.
I wording correctly. I enjoy good, healthy food.
Yes.
And I have some rules where, again, I don't eat things that upset my stomach, or that I don't regularly eat things that are not so good for you. I
Right.
love cultural foods. I love experimenting. I love eating things with taste, with sauces. I love curries. I love that sort of thing. I make stews, and I love making a really good pot of chicken stock soup filled
Hell
with like
yes.
potatoes and just drenched in sauce. I love sauce.
True mark of a chef.
Yes,
Sauces and
sauces
soups.
and soups. Yes.
Yes.
Not a chef for me, but
Got it. Yeah, you got to be a little
I
bit.
could pretend.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so those are the things that I would do maybe in moderation,
Yeah.
if you will.
Totally. No,
Right?
I'm
So-
totally with it. You said earlier you don't necessarily subscribe to veganism or paleo or this, that, and the other. That seems one of those things, or keto or carnivore, or every side of the spectrum from carnivore to vegan seems to have just encapsulated every trainer in the world. Why not you?
Man, I'm probably the weirdest trainer. I'm kind of real life. Like, I have 2 children. I've got a house full of busyness. I love being disciplined, but I'm also not. And
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do what works for me and in my environment. And if I go crazy trying to meal prep and try to be this or that or the other, I think that in itself is a stress that I don't want to take on. And a lot of people, when you talk about meal planning and trainers doing all of this, I think it's great. It's not in my scope of practice.
Right.
I'm not a nutritionist, and I feel that I'm still trying to learn my own body. And I feel like I have some ideas and some rules and some things that people should know, like eat your fruits, eat your veggies. They do work,
Yeah,
drink lots
yeah,
of water. Those are
yeah.
things that you should be doing.
Yeah.
And those alone, if changed in someone's diet, will be a huge help. Just starting with that. But most people can't even do that.
Right.
Right. So starting to get them on a huge meal plan that completely changes their entire lifestyle when they're not even ready to do that yet, puts them there for a moment. And then most people fall out of it and go
Crash
much
and burn.
worse than they were to
Yeah.
start with.
Oh, I've already broke my meal plan, so why don't I have another 3 donuts? Like,
Yeah.
who cares at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. So let me play devil's advocate here. So let's say I try to meal prep. I don't always. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm just out constantly, and I'm super frugal, so I hate buying lunches and stuff like that. That's my main motivation.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't want to give I don't know, Tim Hortons or Smack or someplace my money.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. So I'm wired. So, but what would you say to someone? Okay, yeah, sure. You don't want to meal prep, and maybe it's too strict for someone initially, but prior preparation prevents poor performance, and discipline can be freedom, right? If you get it down, like I'm trying to get it to a point where if I just get it down, and all of a sudden, bam, meals are done. I don't have to think about it, because for me, biggest inconvenience. My body's just like, I'll go, and then my body's like, hey, Joss, hey, stupid fuck up there. Like, you gonna eat? And I'm like, no, relax, right? Because I'll be like, no, I didn't meal prep, so we're gonna tough it out until we get home, right?
Yeah.
What do you say to those people? They're like, you know what? If you're disciplined, you don't have to worry about it. Come on now.
Yeah, no, I'd say if that works for you, by all means, do it.
Such a Canadian answer.
I mean, well, the truth is everybody's different. There's
Yeah.
no two people that are the same. I don't have your life. You don't have mine. Do you have kids?
No, I
You
don't.
don't have kids. It's a different world with children. And
So
as
I
much
hear.
as I would love to put time into myself more than I am now, sometimes I just can't do that. And so for some weeks I will meal prep. I'll have it all down. I'll be like, damn, I'm on fire. I'll have it ready.
Get
I'll
all
have my
fired
big
up.
soup made up. I'll have it
Yeah.
frozen. I'll have all the vegetables and the fruit. I'll have it washed. I'll have it shaved. I'll have it everything
Oh my
ready.
gosh.
My husband will go in the fridge. He'd be like, I can eat this all the time. And then week 2, it's like, where the hell did all the good food go? And what I can't keep up with it. And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I'm not going to continue trying. It just means that in my life, in my lifestyle, there's balance, and that balance is sometimes being on it. And then that means as well sometimes being not on it, because my priority may be that week that I'm spending more time with my children doing something else, or
love that you-
maybe
yeah.
I have a podcast to do tonight,
Yeah, maybe you do.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
I have to take things as they come.
How are you okay with chaos?
I live in chaos. I work really well under the gun. I'm good at putting things together when I have to, and there's no alternative. I'm not a greatly, awesomely organized person, and that
Great
is to my
adjectives.
detriment.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I feel like it's also kind of put me at another skill set
Yeah.
by being able to work in chaos. But
Totally.
chaos is awesome when you can figure yourself out of it. But it can also be chaos, which
And suck.
yeah.
Yeah. From the outside looking in, and obviously I dig a little bit, but it's just like there's certain people on this planet that you look at from the outside and you're like, wow, they really have their shit together. They really they've crossed their T's, they've dotted their I's, and from the outside looking in, it looks amazing. Obviously, we know that's not the case. You're super transparent about it's just not having time to work out. Your whole model is around that, or just making use of a bed. Oh my god, I almost forgot. Bree, please
Oh
cue
my
that up.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. So listeners will know because I already did an intro on you, as they'll hear earlier in the cast. But if you don't know who Carmel is, everyone is tuning in on video. This is what she's about. She is about getting a core workout in at a hotel or something of that nature. That's how she's doing it. So can you run me through real quick what you're doing for yourself here?
So, okay, I'm a kid. Like
Yeah.
my whole nature is a child. I love to play around. But truth be told, sometimes this is the only way I can get a workout in. And in this particular circumstance, I was at a hockey tournament with my son, and we were sharing a B&B with another family, and I needed to get a workout in, and they've got kids downstairs and we've got stuff going on, and I'm just like, I'll be up in the room making noises. I'll be fine. I'll just be training.
Nobody's
So
hurting me. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so this is what I came up with. There's a few other things that maybe I'll post over some period of time. But yeah, no, I make use of a bed. I make use of a couch. These items are in the house for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the reason. Sure. I mean, Tempur-Pedic maybe did that in the test room. I can kind of see you might be denting the drywall a little bit
You know
there.
what? I checked. Everything
Everything was
good.
okay? Okay,
Everything
sorry,
was
I didn't mean to
Bed
push you.
wasn't broken.
We're all right.
Wall was fine.
Cool.
And I held my core in just well enough so I knew I wouldn't damage anything.
Right.
There's a ninja aspect to this whole thing.
Right. I definitely a ninja aspect. That's to me. That's like I made some poor decisions the night before. I need to get the fuck up out of this bed ASAP and go. That's my ninja skill right
No,
there.
I was getting ready for my shoot that was happening the moment I came back from this Hope trip.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
And then I got sick right after this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that embodies you from how little I know of you, but I mean from the way you personify yourself. And I followed you for a long ass time when you started working with RYU, I think.
Really? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know
my
that.
girlfriend Tracy used to work for RYU, just in one of their stores, and you came in or you did some shoot or I don't know, you had some interaction with them or whatever. And she's just graduating business school, and she was like, oh my God, there was this like super badass, like kind of like weird, funny ninja mom
Weird.
person that came in, and she was just super exuberant and super fit. And I don't know, I think that, you know, a lot of people definitely look up to you and all that. She's going to be super pissed that I said that, but whatever, Tracy.
That's sweet.
And so that embodies what, and I say that to say the time that I followed you and used your workouts and stuff like that, it in one 30-second clip, that is you. And I had to give viewers that. And if you're just listening, as she described, she's literally just like sitting on a bed, popping up on a bed, sitting on a bed, popping up on a bed, trying to engage her core, trying to get a workout in when she's at her son's hockey tournament in Hope, apparently.
Hope, yeah.
Yeah. So that's totally amazing. Why do you feel the need? For me, I'm a little different. If I'm like, I'm going to go get a workout in, that means something. Like that means I'm going to go, I mean, it could be the track, it could be the gym, it could be the court. I could have a basketball background, whatever it is. But like, I'm going to go for at least an hour, and I'm going to, you know, try to kill myself. I'm going to go in and really, I want to finish this workout and be like, hell yes, and try to get that high, right? Because that's what it's about for me, is like really pushing yourself to the limit, and then, you know, enjoying the fruits of your labor, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually even. And when I see something like this, you have a different methodology. We're like, nah, man, get it where you can get it. You know, like whenever, wherever, what feels the need for you to do that? Because for me, it's like, if I only had 5 minutes, I'm like, man, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like, you know, do some handstand push-ups or something like that. What makes you just go like that?
You know, I think there's several things. One is, I know after I do it, I feel better no matter what. It's like, if I move, I feel better.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I have to have that mentality or I'll never get it in. You know, again, having kids, you know, being busy, running a business and wearing all the hats I do, it's just like, I got to find time. So if it's me putting my leg up on the counter and, you know, and stretching, I'm going to do it. It feels great. It works. It's like I'm using the gym, whatever they have there. I'm just in my kitchen. What the heck is the difference? Like, honestly, there's no difference. You know, I'm using a rice bag because I don't have weights at home or the type of weights I want to use. It works.
But
Why
it's a
not
weight.
do
A weight
it?
is a weight.
A weight is a weight. I'm doing it. I'm getting it done. You know what I mean? And if that little bit of something provokes my next happy mood or my next, I don't know, positive vibe
Joyful
for whatever I'm
moment or
doing.
whatever,
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's almost like a primer. I look at
If you will.
I try to work out, you know, in the mornings before I do anything, right? And if I don't get a workout in the morning, I just don't feel like I'm as good of a person. Like I don't know, maybe that's just, you know, issues I have, but I'm just like, I don't know, I'm maybe not as fun and excited. Or if I can't get a workout in, like I'll make sure to meditate and stretch and just do something. Because if I just, you know, get up, shower, eat, go, it's a bad day already. And I can't get out of that funk. I mean, that's a problem I have. But to me, it's almost like a drug. I mean, it's literally like if you could take all of the benefits that sweating and exercise and breathing and movement and mobility and flexibility give you,
Put it into a pill.
Like that would be, I mean, that's the greatest pill ever invented.
They're trying to do that.
Are they trying to do that?
Isn't that like the...
Who's they?
They, you know, the mysterious they.
They, got it,
I'm sure there's one trying to be made somewhere, somehow. I mean, they've got them in other forms, but... You know, but you know what? That's awesome. The fact that you're finding what works for you in the morning, right? And if you can't get it in the way that you get it in, will you settle for something that'll help you get a little of it?
That's a good point.
Right? I mean, if that can happen, and if that can give you a little bit of an advance to your morning to start off, you know, the way you could, then Why not
Yeah,
take that opportunity?
then take it, right? I get it. But then there's always the, well, I should actually reply to that email, or I should actually, like, I left these people on red for 3 days, or there's this and there's that. And then those things, I don't know why those things are more important constantly, but they are.
Yeah.
And I can't seem to get that out of my head.
I think my dad used to always say to me is, ironically actually, but my dad used to always say is that, Carmel, you cannot take a U-Haul to your grave. Meaning that you can work, you can buy all these clothes, you can do all the things that you think you need to do. But when you die, because your health is terrible, you can't, it's over. You can't take any of that stuff with you. So my dad passed in June, and
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
that's okay. It happened. That's part of life. But ironically, he worked until he passed. And, I think part of that influences a lot of the way I think these days. And that is, you have to take your opportunity. I'm going to do everything that I can for my family and for myself to make sure that I have control, or I do the things that I have control over. So I do the things right for what I have control over. If I have a disease, or if I'm given cancer or something like that, I can't control that aspect of my life. But if I do everything to prevent that and I still get it, I know I've still done my part. It probably could have been worse. Do you know what I mean? So if I sit there and I don't do those things, and later something happens, I can look back and say, shit, if I had only done this, maybe this could have been avoided. And I've done that before with a lot of my life. And I don't think it's okay for me to do that anymore.
Regret.
Yeah. So I think that influences a lot of the way I think. Those moments, those 5 minutes, the preparation for the food that week, and not the next maybe, but the next week after that, like those things influence the way I make my decisions.
I think for me, it's absolutely a coping mechanism. Probably the only one I have. And, I was just really lucky to have coaches, obviously come from a sports background, that just, I had so much pent up anger and testosterone from being a kid that, that stuff gets to you, and it's just so easy to make decisions that are poor based off of those emotions and the energy. I feel like, running from your past is one thing, but I mean, it's a mechanism for sure. I have this concept that's just like, that I stole from Joe Rogan, because he's a genius. I love him. Shout out to Joe. Joe, you're ever in Vancouver, man, come by. He does this thing called Sober October, which is just like, it's just literally pandemonium, just no drugs, no alcohol, and just work out as much as you can throughout October. There's more details, whatever. The point is that he has this theory of like, you have a cup and you just need to empty it every day. And if you don't empty it, it'll start boiling over, and then you'll start doing all this irrational shit that you wouldn't necessarily have done. But like, for instance, like if you're in traffic and, someone cuts you off, if I haven't worked out, like, I'm mad. I'm mad. Like, and I'll catch myself like, hey, what is wrong with you? But if I just came from a workout, or, if I worked out in the morning, or if I went for a run or anything, if I just sweat, I'm just like, he's probably in a rush. Yeah. He's probably in a rush, right? Like, it's fine.
So
it's
much
cool.
more tolerant, huh?
Yeah, you're just like, whatever. It's cool. Like, something about putting your body under extreme stress for short periods of time just makes everything else like a breeze. Yeah. Even in business, like a breeze, like, oh yeah, okay, you didn't get the contract. Okay. Like, don't worry about it. Right? It's fine. I'm sure you must have the same thing with your kids. Oh my God. There's something I haven't had to deal with yet, but oh, you broke that? No problem.
I love you.
Come here. Yeah. Are you a proponent of meditation or anything like that?
I pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a form of meditation.
Definitely is.
For sure.
I meditate through my workouts, even the hard ones. Yeah.
How so?
When I throw down, whether I'm angry or I'm in movement, my brain shuts off, things shut off, and I just have this, it's a rhythm. It's a rhythm that I do. Even in that silly ninja jumping, whatever, funny video, it shuts my brain off, and I just have this kind of vibe of, I'm just moving. I'm feeling my body. I'm feeling what it's doing to my body. I'm hearing nothing but my I guess my connection from what I'm doing up here, what I'm doing here to here.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel it as a form of meditation. A lot of people ask me, because I used to play a lot of Sade music in my videos.
Sweet.
And even when I was throwing a medicine ball or a slam ball down, I'd still be playing Sade. When I'm going hard in my jump rope and it looks like I'm, doing fast rope and fancy footwork, I'm listening to Sade. You wouldn't think that music actually coincides with the movement I'm doing, but her ability to kind of reach in and tug at your your heart, whatever the soul, that to me is a meditation, a form of meditation.
Wow.
And that music and that idea behind that is meditation for me.
Wow.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Yeah, I mean, meditation, again, I like to go to places where I'm on the edge. Like, I like to live on the edge. So, like, in living on the edge, that's a bad way to say that, but I like to go to places where you're just falling off of comfort, and you're just kind of like right here. You're just doing this balancing act, right? So the two things that really get me there, well, actually three things. One is being incredibly busy. I love it.
Yeah.
Two is in extreme workouts, just getting the cardiovascular system fired at the highest level. It just totally gets me there. And then the third is meditation.
Yeah.
Like, I get to this spot where this is a scary thing to say, but you can't, the whole idea is control your breath, control your thoughts. Control your breath, control your thoughts. Focus on your breath, control your thoughts. Nothingness. That doesn't happen. Yeah. Right? And it's like, I get angry because I'm one of those I'm the type of person that, like, I'm a Virgo. I like perfectionism. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no, I should be great. There's no reason I shouldn't do this. I've been practicing this for like a year and a half. Why can't I do this? What the fuck? And I just get angry at myself, right? Which in workouts is great, pushes me further. Yeah. Right? In basketball games is great, pushes me further. And meditation doesn't do dick for you. It just digs you deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into that hole, right? And I use these things to run away from things, right? And it seems like it's a constant feedback loop, and just try to figure it out. So that's why I was interested to know, if you had an approach with it. But
yeah, well, actually for me, prayer, like I had mentioned, I get angry too, because I get angry with God about why things are the way that they are. And I grew up in a very, not religious, because my dad was sure to differentiate religion and belief and faith for us. And we grew up in a Christian household. We didn't practice Christianity. There was no clergyman or any kind of ritual in our churches. It was basically based on having elders and people standing up and testimonials and things like that, and praying and reading. But I grew up within that kind of, that strictness, right? Which is no TV, no radio, no music, for a lot of my life, no phone calls from boys, not all. It was very, very strict.
Yikes.
And so I've had this love-hate relationship with being a Christian, I guess. And but my dad used to always say to me, he used to say, Carmel, God is there for you to talk to him, right? He's there for you to talk to him. So if you're angry, be angry. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're upset or you're thankful, be thankful, but acknowledge him, because that's kind of what he's looking for. Because he's not looking for a perfect person. He's looking for someone who knows that they need him, because that's what he's there for. That's why he made us. So that helps me. And I feel like when I do pray, which is a lot, like even when I go on a shoot or something and I'm like sick and dead and I'm like, I don't know if I can perform, and I'll give it all to him in the morning. And honestly, that day works out. And what can I say? I didn't do it. It wasn't all me, because I couldn't. That's why I had to ask for help.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I get through it. But I get angry.
With a smile on her face. Oh yeah, I get mad. I get mad.
That's the scariest type of anger.
Yes, that's a place you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open the door, she's pissed off with a smile on her face. God damn, I don't want to be there. That's hilarious. I want listeners, and I want your base and our base to understand that you're not this person that is in front of us. You're a product of many things. You're a product of your experiences and how you've dealt with them and the people around you. And I know that you weren't always this angelic, perfect person that is before us today, with her hair done and her nails done, drinking water.
Well, no. Do you want to see the nails for real?
You want to see my nails? I ain't got nothing, okay? I got nothing to show. And that person was crafted over a long time. And as long as I've ever, been watching what you've been doing on social media, I mean, that person's been pretty awesome. How did that person personify this? You personify this almost like an empowered woman that's almost iconic in a way, right? You've crafted out a lane for yourself that didn't previously exist, at least in my mind, or you're the first person to occupy it in my mind, but that wasn't always this way. How did you get to that level of greatness almost? Like, I mean, I don't mean to blow smoke up your ass. I really don't. But, facts are facts. Like, I'm someone that admires people that can actually get to a high level of functionality, in health and wellness and family, all these things. You seem to have achieved that on some level. And I know you're still working on it, but damn, that's a level. Like, that's a milestone right there. How'd you get to that milestone?
First of all, thanks. I appreciate that. I don't think I've ever heard it like that before, but I know maybe it sounds cliche, but yeah, I'm still working on it. Like you said, my nails are nicely done. They're not, and they're usually not.
For the record,
I'm wearing a dress
yes.
for like the first time in a very long time.
Honored.
Actually, it was given to me by Calvinder.
Shout out Calvinder.
Because I own sweatpants, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just living. I'm living, and I'm trying to figure out my own way. And the only way I can do that is by just continually trying to stay on the right side of things, I guess. One of the things that I know for sure is that when I make decisions based on my intuition versus what I think I need to do, I win. And then when I make them based on what I think I need to do and what I think people are going to see off of it because of what I think they need to see, I lose. So I believe that just staying true and making sure that every single day I wake up thinking, what am I going to do today to make it different than yesterday? What am I going to do today that is going to help me get further than where I am right now? And that may not be in my business. That may be just as a mother.
Right.
That may be just for me not to feel, or because I'm nursing an injury. That may be just something as small as that. But every small, little, tiny increment of progress is progress.
Totally.
And if you look at it like that, instead of looking at this huge picture and this huge thing that needs to be fulfilled, I feel like you'll get somewhere.
Brick by brick.
Oh, for sure.
Brick by brick.
For sure.
That's so interesting. I got to pinpoint something you said there. So you said, you were like, if I go off my intuition and how I feel at the end of the day, and then your voice just changed, you're like, I'll win. If I don't, I'll lose.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's this moment of distinction. You're a person that has a lot of contrast in your life. I'm just trying to pick up themes and patterns and people in general. I have a mind like that where, for instance, you have ninja ability. Such a weird word, but totally applicable.
You gotta own it.
Gotta own it. You have super, ninja agility, mobility, flexibility, all this stuff, strength, conditioning, which is super intense. And then you're this caring, loving, mother and support figure and compassionate and empathetic person at the same time, right? But you seem to have a competitive drive. What the fuck? I don't know. How does that work?
That's hidden.
Because I'm one way.
Yeah.
I don't have the, I got to work on, but I'm one way. You seem to have this nice contrast going on.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a nice contrast. It's definitely a fighting contrast I have with myself.
Oh.
I think my dad is super calm, super compassionate, empathetic to a feeling. Like I'm telling you, if you hurt yourself and he sees you hurt, or you're explaining to him this cut you have on your knee, he'll feel it. He'll be like I can feel it. And I have that from him, a lot of that from him. But at the same time, my mother is feisty.
Uh-oh.
She's very feisty, and she's really good at getting her way. But I also believe hard work comes from the moments that are not seen. It's all that undercover work, right? You don't talk so much about the stuff that you're doing because if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So you do the work, you grind. Hard work. You're compassionate, you're humble because you have to be, right? And then you have to be better than you were before. So that's the competitive thing. I'm definitely a competitive person. I grew up with 5 brothers. I competed against them.
Older brothers, younger brothers?
I'm the second eldest. So one elder brother.
Interesting.
And my competition wasn't, I want to beat that girl. It was, I'm going to beat that guy.
Yeah.
It was never about the girl.
Yeah. The girl was easily beatable.
Yeah. Or maybe I just didn't relate to it. I don't think I ever tried. It wasn't a competition with a girl. I actually just wanted a friend. I wanted a friend. I was always with guys.
It all comes out.
I'm friends with guys. Like, that's how I do. Like, that's how I know. I know how to hang out with guys. It's my thing. Yeah. And so for me, the competition is there. I want to be better, but not because I want to be better than them. It's because I want to be better than myself. And I need to see where I can go with it. Right. So I don't know if that makes sense.
So you're using the moments as like milestones?
Yeah. So if I see anyone doing something, and I really like what they're doing, physical, let's talk physical. Right. And I feel like I should be able to do that. And I go and I try it and I can't do it. Or let's say I can do it, but I can't do it that well. Oh, that pisses me off. And so my days are spent, and not necessarily doing that particular thing, but I'm working on little tiny areas that'll lead me to that. So the next time I try it, I'm going to be that much better, but not because I practiced that, but because I practiced all the little things that go into that moment. And then it's there. And then I feel validated.
You don't know why we're laughing right now. Yeah, I have a similar thing going on right now, actually, where I saw someone on Instagram do a fucking handstand, and I was like, that's cool. I want to do that. Maybe I can do it just a little bit, not very good. And I started doing little things to try to figure out how to do it. And I started reaching out to find out how to do it. And that has been the process through the last week.
Yeah. It's been a week. I thought it was only a couple days.
No, I tried a little bit before, and I was super bad. I threw that up on Instagram. If you don't know, just check out my Instagram. I couldn't even get up. I could just like pop my 2 feet up and it just fall back down. I couldn't do
Your video
anything.
was actually quite good. So
thank you. That means so much to me.
It was actually quite good. And there was noticeable things that you could have done and that you could do now to change your moments of staying up to, more than a couple seconds.
Totally. I'm really trying to get like 10 seconds, but that's my goal right now. I can do 5. I did 5.
Good.
That's my max right now. And I'm 5, but then once I'm a falling tree, I'm just a falling tree.
Yeah.
And I want to get 10, but then what I really want to do, like I can do the push-ups and stuff. Like I have strength. That's not what I'm worried about. I want the balance and stuff like that. And I want to be able to walk downstairs and shit because I'm jealous of people. And then I want to be able to go from on the hands and then just like I want to be able to be on my feet rather and just flip onto the hands. But it's just, I have no reason for wanting these things. I just do. So I definitely get where you're coming from that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what it is.
That's the kid. That's the nature. That's the competitive kid nature. In myself, anyways. Maybe for you,
sure,
right?
100%.
Yeah. Like if I see kids, whenever I'm at a photo shoot, or my photo shoots are usually I'm doing strenuous activity. Like
yes.
They're not. I don't model. I'm not a model.
You get a workout in and they photograph it.
And they photograph me. Sometimes it's 3 hours. Sometimes it's 1 hour. Sometimes it's 12 hours.
Wow.
And I'm training. And mostly I'm around 20-year-olds. Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest one in the room all the time.
How old are you, Carmel?
I'm 41. I'm the oldest one in the room all the time. Yes, I said it out loud. Age is my fear. But
you just had a bunch of people be like, whoa, shit, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. So, and I'm always the oldest. But point being that my kid nature will not allow me to acknowledge my age forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
So I will still try to walk downstairs on my hands up until I'm maybe 60 and my fingers are like, you've got arthritis.
Yeah, you
and
can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
totally. Now with the team here at Safari, we're the same way. Like we'll have like photo shoots and we'll do like staging boxes and stuff. So we'll do a lot of products and for different companies, whatever. We'll put, backgrounds and lightings and stuff. And we'll have this big prop and we'll be like, yo, I bet I can kick that shit. And then we just waste 30 minutes trying to kick it. You know what I mean? It's
right?
just like, and you're like, was that a waste of time? Maybe, maybe not. You know what I mean? I get it.
Did it make you smile and
Yes,
happy
it did.
and angry at the same time?
And angry at the
It's all
same
worth
time.
it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I love how, human nature is really fun. Nature is really fun. It makes you relatable too, right? We're all created, somewhat equal in a sense of like, I'm a big believer in, some people have different genetic, advantages, and maybe your metabolic rate is this, or maybe you're tall, or maybe you're thin, or whatever it is. But like at the end of the day, if you're really, devote to something, one thing like a handstand, I guarantee you can all do it. Like, I guarantee you can all do, I don't give a what you say.
Yeah.
And I'm super uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Like, and balance is definitely my weak point. So it's like, let's put it together. Okay, got to figure it out. And it makes it, because we're all equal, it makes us relatable. And then it inspires human connection, and it brings us together, which at the end of the day, that's happiness, or at least it is for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's why I even participate in fitness communities, or else I just go work out alone all the time. You know what I mean? It's different. And then, but the other thing with that too is that even, you're someone that works out a lot. I try to work out a lot. Even with that, it brings a level of, for me personally, like I work in finance. I work at a firm, one of the younger people there, and there's this level of like social awkwardness, because it's like, oh yeah, this guy went, like, I know this guy was at the gym at 5 or 4 or whatever, and we showed up at work at the same time, but he had a workout in, and now, he's feeling great and I'm feeling down. Like, fuck that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, I'm not trying to shit on any of my coworkers. You guys are all great, but I'm just saying that exists.
Yeah.
Like, that exists, right? And for a person like yourself, who, like, your brand, your personality, everything is like around this. This is who you are. You've embodied this. I just, like, I'll work out, but people aren't like, oh, that's an athlete. Like, that's a different thing, How has that been challenging for you at all?
Yeah, a little bit. It's funny actually, because I have a core group of girlfriends that I've been disconnected with actually for some time. And it's not because of any reason other than the fact that I've been trying to get my crap together.
Yep, totally.
But yeah, my lifestyle is so different from the average person, I would say, I guess, where I don't have a set schedule. So I'm what do you call it? What do they call it? Fruity? What? When you make a plan and you can't go.
Flaky.
Well, thank you. That's
fruity, fluffy, flaky.
Fluffy.
Same shit. Yeah, nice.
I hate being that person. I hate being flaky. I don't like to make a commitment and not be able to hold up to it. So that has made my life a bit challenging. My lifestyle, oh, Carmel doesn't drink. Oh, Carmel doesn't eat this. And I actually do. I actually do drink. I actually do eat these things. I just don't eat it the way that others enjoy it as much, because I can't, with my lifestyle. So it has put a bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it a strain, or it has made connecting with others sometimes a bit difficult, I guess, or keeping up with their plans and their lifestyle.
Totally.
But this year I've made a change, and I've decided to make it work.
How are you going to do that?
I'm just going to do it.
Sweet.
We'll figure it out when we get to it.
Right.
But I've reconnected with 2 of my closest friends, and and we try to meet up every Wednesday for wings.
Sweet.
And it was actually my girlfriend, Leah. She's like, sorry, Leah. Yeah, she's like, Sam and Leah, but it was Leah's idea to do this Wing Wednesday, because she was reading or listening to a podcast or reading a book or something about this girl that used to hang out with her girlfriends, and they used to watch movies on Monday nights and cuddle, and even when they got married and stuff like that, they still kept up this thing they did. And I guess they were involved in that thing that happened in Paris, where the vehicle went into all these people and all this stuff. And they, in order to find comfort and something for them to feel good, they met together on a Monday night, and they watched movies and they cuddled, and that was their thing. And it's kind of what brought them back to feeling okay. And she's like, we need something like that, right? And we've been friends forever. And so we had our Wing Wednesday, and we can't do it every Wednesday, just life gets in the way, but we're trying.
You make an effort.
Yeah. And so I plan around my wings now. So if I have an issue, if I have, something where I've got something going on, this is a priority to me. So I put that within my plans and make sure that the rest kind of falls around it.
Yeah.
Just like I do for my children and my family and the events that I need to make sure that I put as a priority. This has now become one.
Were you always that way?
What way?
The way of, no, like this meeting with friends or this family thing or this whatever personal life thing is I'm going to make it a priority.
I think yes, but not always for the things that I didn't realize was important to me. If that makes any sense. I think certain things have been more clear on what's important to me
Right.
in the last year or so because of events that have happened in my life. So yeah, I think making it a priority or making things that are important to you. I mean, if you were to die tomorrow, you know, what would you think or feel in the last day? What are the regrets that you come up with? You know, what are the things that you wish you would have done? And if I can look back and say, I told my kids I love them. I made sure my husband knew that I cared and I was happy being married to him for 17 years almost in August. You know, and my closest friends know they're my closest friends. My mom,
Amazing.
I saw her yesterday. You know, all those things have been done and kind of checked off my list. I can go feeling I'm okay. They're okay.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of, I mean, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to work out that way all the time, but if I can get as close to that as possible, then I'm doing okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I feel you for sure. There's, yeah, things, you need to put things in order. Right? For me, it's just as a young guy, I'm terrible. Super bad. Yeah. Horrendous.
Age may play a factor
age
in realizing.
100%. and like, you know, thanks to this podcast and just, you know, my line of work, I talk to a lot of amazing people and they're all like, hey, dude, fucking relax. Like, relax. Hey, hey, are you there right now? Or are you thinking about 3 other things?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, yeah, I get it. But a point I want to go back to is that just in terms of the social thing, I like being good at things. I like being great at things. I don't necessarily like being good at things and telling other people about it. I just have this internal battle with myself where I'm like, I'm going to be really good at this. And I'm going to find out a way to be really good at this because this is just what I need for my own fulfillment and purpose and whatever. I don't know what the psychological factors are, but that's how my mind works. And I would use those things as an excuse to not partake in social gatherings, partying. I have this guilt complex where if like I'm out, the second I'm out, I'm like, fuck, there's so much shit I could be doing right now, or I could be pushing things forward or all this stuff. And I have this complex where it's just, it's a spiral.
Yeah.
It's a spiral and it goes down. And then what would compound that would be the fact that even when I do go in these social situations, and like I'm a super social person, I really enjoy people. Like I love people. I'm not an introvert in a sense at all. I mean, that's how I can do this podcast, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I would avoid those situations so much because number one, because the goal-oriented thing, and then number two, because even when I got in those situations, I felt so alienated, right? And I mean, we have an issue in this country, world that we live in about complaining. And like, dude, it's like people just get together to complain. Why? Like what? You know, like how often do you hear at the water cooler or wherever it is that it's just like, oh my God, like Cindy did this. Oh my God, Jim never came to that thing and now he's not here again.
Yeah.
Does he ever come into the office? I don't know. You know, and then you just get into this thing where, why are you here?
Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't want to be part of this if you're part of this, right? Yeah. You ever find a similar situation at all, or do you just dodge those things, or is that just me?
No, I feel you. I can be a complainer too, and my husband calls me out on it. He does, yeah. And it's not that I'm actually very grateful for a lot of things, but I do find myself sometimes getting in my head. I won't necessarily do it in public and out in the open, but I can be a complainer too, and I have to be brought back to awareness, which he does very well.
That's why he's your husband.
That's why he's my husband.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't like it. I'm very much. I feel like the kind of advice or the kind of training that I would give to someone, or the kind of mom I am, or friend even, is I feel like people need to be responsible for their situation in a lot of cases, right? So if you're complaining, usually there's a way that you can get around it. You know, you don't have to complain. There's always a way to fix things so that you don't have to complain. But people take that route, and they do. So when I start complaining to myself and I get reminded, I often will be like, okay, what the hell am I going to do now to get myself out of it? And I
Yeah.
will make that change.
Yeah.
And that's what I expect from people, and I have to stop doing that because sometimes people aren't built that way.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to remember that you have to be that empathetic person that maybe teaching is better than expecting. And then anyways, that's
Yeah, but
the
teaching and not coming off like a douche.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
so this I either come off like a complete asshole or a complete hippie. I either go one of two ways. And I'm like, hey, bro, like shut your mouth. Like it's all right. Like pull up your bootstraps. We're gonna be okay. Like don't worry about gym. Or I'm like, hey man, like don't worry about it. Like you're on your own path. Da 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 da. And either way, people look at me like, huh?
Well, you have to be aware of who you're speaking with.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
Good point. Good
like
point.
I would have clients that need that kind of, you know, I guess nurturing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's clients that I'm just like, seriously, you guys,
Yeah.
get
Come on
off
now.
your butt. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So picking and choosing who you talk to in what way, I think might help.
Yeah, picking and choosing, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Emotional intelligence, no doubt. Carmel, we got super off track. I meant at the start of this podcast, I wanted to give more context on you and your story and how this all came to be. We just went, and it's a bad habit of mine, and I mess up structures of the podcast all the time, but I don't think people care. It's just me. But I want to touch on how you came to be and what your journey was. For people that haven't seen the writings about you or the videos about you or things you've narrated, like what can you tell us about 15 years ago, 20 years ago? I can't believe you're 41.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so in my mind you're 30 something, the early 30s, and this whole process of what you are today was very much quicker. I thought it was something that turned around in a matter of, I don't know, like a year or two or something like that, but that's totally incorrect. Now
Yeah.
I'm realizing.
Yeah.
How long was this journey for you?
I mean, my journey is been my entire life, but
Yeah.
I guess my vision and all the stuff that I've been recently kind of, I guess, if you will, noticed for or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
has been in the last 7 years, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Fitness wise?
Fitness wise, yeah, mostly fitness wise.
Yeah.
I think it was about 5 years ago I got on Instagram, so about 7 years when I got my training
Mm-hmm.
certification. So being in the industry and doing what I'm doing and getting where I am happened very quickly. That part did.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work out for the simple fact that I just wanted muscles and I wanted to look good in jeans and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I still want muscles and I still want to look good in
in
jeans,
jeans, yeah,
right?
that shit doesn't
that hasn't
change,
changed.
yeah.
But the idea and the aspect of my training now has shifted quite a bit.
Right.
And that's due to the fact that I've learned that, not being in pain and having a reason behind the muscles and how to use them is more important.
A purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The aesthetics will be there. They'll come.
Yeah.
It's part of the package, but most importantly, living without pain. And appreciating the fact that your body can move. That's
huge.
awesome
too. Yeah, definitely. Did you play anything in high school or anything like that? Track or I don't know, something?
This was my track experience.
Oh, you did play track. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Okay,
I did
cool.
the 100-meter sprint dash, and I remember my parents came to watch, and I was running, and and I remember looking up in the stands, going, "Hey!" finding my
While
family.
you're running?
Yeah,
Oh my
and they're
God.
like, "Run!" I'm like, and I lost.
Of course, you lost.
Yeah, that was my moment.
That was your track career.
Yeah, and then I ran. That time we do like 3 or 4 laps around.
800 meter? No, 1200
Yeah,
meter, something like that.
the longer one. I think it was the 1,000 or something. And I came in dead last, but I didn't
Dead
stop.
last?
Dead last. I
Oh,
was the
no.
very last person to come in, but I kept
Carmel.
going. I did gymnastics in 8th grade for maybe 10 months or so. I did well,
Yeah.
and I learned how to do a handstand. I could do round off back handsprings. I almost got a kip on the bar. Didn't quite make it. That was my experience. And I played soccer.
Okay, so you did have an
So
athletic background.
Yeah, I played.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't do great in any of them because I didn't try, and I had another plan
Why didn't you try?
Because I tried while I was playing, but I didn't.
No. Yeah,
I didn't. I was too cool.
No way.
Yeah, I wanted to go and have fun.
Where'd you go to high school? Sorry.
Queen Elizabeth Secondary.
Which is, I'm sorry, I'm not from here.
In Surrey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sure.
Yeah.
I asked that question like I was going to know a name when you said it. So I'm sorry. I just see you as a person that if you do something, you're really going to try to kill people.
Yeah, but it was in the wrong areas of my life. Like I wanted to, okay. When I was growing up.
Okay, here we go. Let's get to the stuff.
I was a little shit.
Oh, okay.
I was a little shit. I enjoyed hanging out and doing nothing. I didn't like homework. I enjoyed playing video games. I was Chun-Li in Street Fighter all the time, and I won all the time.
It's okay. It doesn't matter now.
It did at the time, and it kind of does now still. No, I was a tomboy, so I loved to go out and play and just play chase till the end of the night because our neighborhood was safe that way.
Right.
You know, I was a little poop. I liked to try to wear makeup when I wasn't allowed to, and you know, I'd change my clothes on halfway to school. You know, like I did those. Yeah, I did those things.
Yeah.
And then eventually I grew out of it, and I just what happened? I got a job after high school, working actually running a business.
What?
So I went to school. My dad started up his own business college.
Okay.
So it was called ProSoft Training Career and Development Center. I went to school there, got my general accounting programming certification.
Wow,
certification.
Shout out to Dad. That's really cool.
Yeah, he was awesome. He worked 18 hours a day, slept there sometimes, and yeah.
Right.
So then I learned that stuff, and then I ended up becoming a TA. I TA'd there for a while, and eventually my dad was an entrepreneur,
Right.
decided he wanted to open up a tutoring center. So we bought the rights to 2 franchises called the Academy for Mathematics and Science. I ran those schools for 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I did that. So I ran a business.
Were you personal training or anything during that
I
time?
did nothing like
You did
that.
nothing?
Nothing. I worked out. That's it. Because I wanted to fit in jeans and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally different.
Okay, I'm just trying to put the
Carmel.
pieces together here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I tutored. I mentored kids. I hired teachers. I was the owner operator. I was the janitor. I was everything. Did that for 10 years. Did quite well. And then I got married and had kids. And I got rid of the business. I knew 5 years in that I didn't want to continue doing it, but I did it because my dad and mom moved to India for 7 years doing missionary work, and I stuck with the business. And anyways, that was my life for a while, and then eventually I didn't do that anymore. And so after kids, I needed to do something different. I had no idea what, because I had no idea who I was anymore. This is when all the stuff that moms go through, some moms go through when they have children, you know, having kids is an amazing experience. It is awesome. I do it all over again, 100 times over. It also can be very scary.
Birth 100 times over? Okay.
Well, you know, our brains are made to forget, right? That's the idea.
Right. That is the idea. Nice.
Yeah, 2 was enough.
For the record.
Yeah.
Your husband's over there getting ideas.
Yeah. No. And so I kind of, I went through a stage, postpartum, whatnot. My body, I wasn't training or working out through my pregnancy because I was quite sick, actually. And after my 2 kids, I lost kind of everything in terms of my physical ability. I had pain. I couldn't do much. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I had it all. I thought I was going to be this awesome mom, and I wasn't. Anyways, because of that, I've never been a person who has dreams or visions or anything like that, but I had one. And it was basically a dream or a vision of me running out on the street. My arms were spread wide open. It was a sunny day, and I relate it to like a Viagra commercial because that's how silly it looked.
Hello.
In my mind.
Oh my God.
And I was running, and I felt so good, just happy. I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. I had everything going right for me. And it was just a moment of this running with the sunshine. And so I equated that to my happiness being to movement running. So that next morning I got up and I went outside to run. And my body was like, nope.
Well, yeah.
You can't run.
It doesn't work like that.
No. So
You
I
try
was
to
like,
do like, I don't know, an elliptical or walk first or
no,
something?
I was in an apartment. I only knew to go outside. That was what I saw in my head. It was outside. That's what
So
I
you
needed
went
to
for
do.
that,
I
yeah.
went to do the outside thing.
To do the outside thing.
Yeah. And I was actually quite discouraged because I was like, okay, this vision that I had and what I thought I was going to be able to do, I not even close. So being outside alone on its own was just awesome. And I didn't realize that until I was like, okay, I can't run, so I'm just going to walk. And I did that. I kept doing that. Every other day, I just would walk and walk. And my mom came to visit me from India, and she stayed with me for a bit when I had my daughter. And she came to walk with us. And then eventually I started taking my kids to school, and I would take them in the stroller, and I'd put one on top of the other, and I would take them down the street, and I would push myself. So everything I did was to get to that run. And I don't think I didn't envision the run every day. It was just that was the goal in my head that I needed to get to. And so everything I did, every single little thing I did, even if it was making food in my house or picking up the kids off the ground, it was in a way to get me stronger so that I could get that run in. Okay. And eventually I was able to do that. And so I started running, and then running was the goal, and I achieved it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well,
what now?
I'm on a roll. Let's go. Yeah. So we used to live in Vancouver on Main and 16th.
Right.
Excuse me. And my kids went to school at Science World, or my son, he went to do the Montessori down there.
Sure.
So I would run down there with the stroller back and forth. And eventually, because the running got a little boring, I would start hopping onto things and just jumping up and jumping over. And then
there's the kid nature coming in, the childish nature. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was able. My body was like, oh, we
cool.
got to do something. I can
jump up on that? Sweet. Let's do it.
Right? Why not do it? Oh, I didn't get tired. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then I'd be on the corner of the street. I'm like, I can't stop. So I'd start doing high knees on the corner of the street. And people thought I was
looking like a crazy woman.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing that. And then later I was like, I don't know if I could do a cartwheel. Let's do a cartwheel. And then I was like, okay. Throughout this time, I actually had another dream. And this dream was more of a nightmare, actually. And it was my kids were playing with me in the front yard, and they were running out into the street, and these cars were coming from either side of the street, and they were going to hit them both. And so I ran out to go and try to save them, but I could only reach one. So I had to actually choose which one of my kids to save. And I would always wake up, obviously not choosing, and just crying and just being heartbroken. But eventually, and that dream was reoccurring, that nightmare was a reoccurring nightmare. Eventually I got angry at it. And I was like, this is not going to happen on my watch. I need to figure out a way to be able to save them both. There's a way. I know I can figure it out. So I was, my next vision, or my next goal, was to become a ninja mom so that I could
save both of them.
Save both. And I visualized it. I'm going to grab one by the sweater or the shirt. I'm going to pull them up at the same time. I'm going to grab the other one. I'm going to fly across, and I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to pull them back this way. And I'm going to save them both. And if it so happened that I couldn't reach them both, like this is how far it went, I would have that ninja, that strength of a mom skill, and I would take that car and I would push it up and I would get my kid out. And that's all that drove me for the next few years.
Wow.
And so everything I did was like, okay, well, what is ninja? What does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
Agility. How do I jump from one to the other? I have to be as light as I can. I need to be able to jump from one and get to the other. So, whether that's me being upside down, whether it's me being able to, whatever, I don't know. I just had to be able to do it. So I watched Bruce Lee growing up all the time. Yeah. That was my mom and my jam. Like, that's what we did.
Amazing.
So all I knew was strong, fierce, functional movement, light.
Yeah. In shape.
Everything that went with it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mimicked.
Wow.
And my whole trial up to when I became a trainer was for that purpose. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I started getting really good at movement and agility. I would use my kids' skipping rope. And by the way, my rhythm sucked.
Oh, what?
I had no rhythm and no ability to jump rope or dance even. I've always been all my life scared to dance because I had no rhythm. And then my husband one day came out and he saw me skipping rope and he's like, ha, 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 let me teach you. And he taught me the 1-2 step because he's the actual athlete in our family.
I know. What did he play? What did he
Basketball
do?
in college. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hockey, ice hockey player.
Sweet.
So
Okay, your kids hit the genetic jackpot. Yeah, that's hilarious.
I'm trying not to put that pressure on them.
Yeah, sorry. Go be an artist.
Yes,
Go be an
do
artist.
what you want.
Whatever you want.
We support, but here's your training regimen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I use their tools, their instruments. I created little obstacle courses in our driveway when we moved to a house eventually. And then one of the moms from the school took me to Steve Nash. Said, I've got a free pass. Why don't we go? And I'm like, okay, let's go. And I was doing my type of training there. And the manager came to me and he's like, are you a trainer? And I was like, no, I had never even thought of being a trainer.
So what type of training were you doing?
So I was doing handstands and I was
hell.
doing high knees and jump rope and there's this women's area and there's whatever and these machines and everything around. I was the only one not using a machine
yeah.
in the middle of the floor, walking on my hands over top of these steppers on the floor. Like, who does that?
Yeah, who does that? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind being embarrassed every now and again.
I like it.
And so then I said, no, I'm not a trainer. And he said, well, you should be one. And I said, okay, well, actually, maybe that's a great idea. I had no career, no anything.
Yeah. You're just being a mom at the time.
Just being a mom at the time.
Yeah.
Actually, I had gotten a job with a friend of mine over at a chiropractic RMT studio. And I said, okay, how do I do it? What's the fastest way? And he said, go challenge an exam. I said, okay. So I went and I took the ACE. I found out what exam to study for.
Yeah.
I took the American Council on Exercise. I went and studied for 3 months in a library. And next exam time at BCIT, I took it and I passed.
No
Passing
way.
rate, I think, was 30%. You had to get
Wow.
80% to pass. It's
Wow.
a hard exam.
Is it still that hard?
I don't even know anymore. But
That's crazy.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. The passing rate for investment advisors is 60%.
Ah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Don't be upset if you don't pass on your first, second try.
I failed a ton of exams.
I think my driving exam I failed like 2-3 times.
Yeah, whatever. Knock it out.
I'm a good driver.
You're fine. Yeah, I swear.
Right?
Yeah.
I just don't know all the rules. No, just kidding.
It's like green, is it red? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just wait for the honks.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the woo-woo.
Yeah.
No, and then so then the next day I went in. I'm like, okay, I'm here for my job. So
You said that?
yeah, and they got me an interview right away with the girl there, and interview was fine. I was a trainer,
Yeah.
and then but the entire reason I started my fitness journey, which was to be there for my kids and save my kids, now switched because now I was training at the gym and I was putting in what was supposed to be 20, 30 hours a week part-time ended up
Right.
being 50, 60 or more hours
Just
a
because of the
week.
clients?
I
Yeah.
got a waiting list for my training. I was doing really well.
What made clients so attracted to your type of training? Because it was crazy? Because it was just different?
I'll be honest. I don't think I was much different from anybody else. I think the reason was because I gave them my attention.
Wow.
A lot of trainers are in there. Yep, it's great. Do a machine.
God, I hate that.
And I was
Oh
like,
my God, I hate that.
let's check your body. Let's see what's going on here. Let's give you this. Let's put some excitement. Let's have some fun. Let's put some music. Like, let's
Dude,
move. Like,
I know.
I'm not,
Ugh.
right?
Ugh. I was at the gym today and I literally just seen a trainer, like this girl's doing just like plank to push up to like burpee to like essentially just a plyo box.
Yeah.
Real simple.
Yeah.
And she's doing 10 reps and the guy's just sitting there like he's standing there just hands here off.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. He's just somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I've been there. I've been coached so many times and I hate when coaches do that. It's like, are you doing something right now? Or are you just wasting my time and yours?
Yeah.
And coaches are always like, players don't waste your coach's time. Like, man, don't waste my time. Shut up. Okay, I appreciate the coffee, my man. Got the middle of some. And so, okay, so connect the dots. So right now you're a corporate trainer at Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
I just was hating on corporate trainers. Sorry, guys. You're not all bad. That's not my bad. Sorry. I don't mean to throw that hate and negativity out there. But you're there now. There's still a large gap between where you were there and where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously not at Steve Nash. And what year was that? How many years ago?
I was like 2013, 14, 15, 2015. What are we in now? No, because we're in 19 now. It's 4 years back, 5. 2000. So 6 years ago?
Not that long.
7 years ago?
Surprisingly, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I think I did maybe 2 years there.
Yeah.
I ended up running the trainers and becoming a fitness manager.
So so that's the progression?
That was in my opinion, regression, but yes, progression.
Woo.
Well, and I say that only because it took me away from what I was essentially trying to do in the beginning, which was where I was going, was that I started my journey in fitness to save my children. And then I started working 60 plus hours a week.
And not seeing your children.
Not seeing them for days. Like 3 days would go by. I'd come home, try to tell my kids to do something and be like, Mom, who? Right? Like, it killed me.
Feeling, yeah.
It killed me. And so I realized that this is definitely not the path I want to be on. And I was happy. I was making great money. I was doing really well. My confidence was boosted. My anxiety and depression was going because I had all that going for me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my plan. And it was kind of like that momentary awesomeness, but I'm giving up the real goal and the real dream. And the more I do that, the more I stray away from what that was. And even though I didn't have a full pinpoint on where I was trying to go, I knew this wasn't it. So it took me about 3 months. I sat there with my resignation letter in my computer.
Why? Why did it take you 3 months? Why did it take you 3 months?
Because, like I said, I had it made. I was a manager. I was making a poop load of money.
So it was hard for you to justify.
There was no reason, and we needed it, right? We needed that stuff, right? So for me, that was where we needed to be, but it wasn't really. So I needed to check myself, because again, I'm coming from panic and anxiety, right? So me having that resignation letter there, knowing the expectations of what were of me from corporate, from the gym, from my family, from all of this. All I felt was this.
Yeah. Yeah. Constantly.
What decision am I making? This is a life-changing decision, essentially.
Yeah.
And then I handed it in. And then I had a panic attack. I did.
That's not how the story is supposed to go. It's supposed to go, I handed it in, I was free.
Yeah. No. I had a panic attack. And then one of the trainers that was with me left with me. Not because of anything other than the fact she's like, you're not here, I'm not here.
Wow.
But, and then we cried together.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Steph. Ooh,
hell yeah.
Damn it.
Who gives a crap?
No, we cried together because I had no idea what I was going to do next. I didn't know. And then this is where my first, where my entrepreneurship started.
So yeah, when you were in the process of handing in that resignation letter, I'm sure you were like, hey, and I'm going to quit and do this.
Nothing that I knew of.
You didn't.
I just knew it would be still in the fitness industry, or I just knew I probably would be continuing to be a trainer of some sort. And
but at what gym?
I had no plans. I just needed to get away from shitting, sleeping, and eating Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Right? I just needed to get away from that. I needed a month to think, so I took a month off.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I ever did. I just didn't know it at the time.
Right.
But my gut, my instinct,
told you,
my intuition
told you what to do.
Yeah.
So after that month off, what did your intuition tell you to do?
Someone reached out to me because I had put a video. That's when Instagram first kind of started. I started hearing about it.
12, I don't know, 2013 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Something
So
like
I heard about it a little bit later, and she's like, "You should put your stuff up on Instagram." I'm like, "What's Instagram?" Okay. Mm-hmm. So I did a couple videos and I put it up on Instagram, and the same girl said, "You need to start hashtagging." And I'm like, "What are hashtags?" The pound sign.
So cute. So cute. So cute.
And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "People need to see what you're doing. So you need to start hashtagging things like cardio or
Fitness,
fitness, pull-ups,
yeah,
whatever you're
yeah.
doing, hashtag it so people can find you and find your stuff. It might help someone. Okay, fine. So I did, and nothing happened for a little while. And I just kind of started getting a little bit of, I just wanted to train. I just kept getting better physically. I just wanted to keep training. I love training. So to me, training's a no-brainer.
I think we got that one.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Carmel and I love training.
I'm into fitness a little bit sometimes.
Sometimes I jump on the bed.
Yeah.
In a fitness way.
What does it even mean? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
And so I started hashtagging, and all of a sudden, it didn't happen all of a sudden, but pretty soon, so maybe all of a sudden, these bigger pages started seeing my stuff, and they started reposting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So fitness pages like Fit Girls or whatever, they started posting, and then I started getting people following. So by the hundreds, and then by the thousands, and then the more thousands,
Pretty
and
cool.
then thousands and thousands and thousands, and that's how it started growing.
Wow.
And it has been that way ever since. So that's kind of how it all began.
Yeah.
I should mention during this time, during my anxiety and my I guess being afraid of being in public and whatnot, just generally because of anxiety. That's what it does to you. I decided to go into acting.
Oh.
Yeah. Because what would be better than being in front of a camera?
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
It made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember going for my first audition, and I was like, they're like, okay, we're doing a salad dressing commercial, and these are the words, and we want you to read it like you're finding the salad dressing sexy. And I'm like, how do I make salad dressing look sexy or sound sexy? And I remember shaking. My hands were shaking. My body was shaking. My lips were quivering. My feet were numb because I lose feeling in my fingers and my toes when I get anxiety. All the blood goes into like the more necessary areas, right? You're still alive.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't feel my feet, and he's like, take off your shoes and just get, loose. And I remember doing it a few times. I started laughing at myself. And basically that's how my auditions went for about a year, until one day I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm doing. I'll listen to your instructions. I'm just going to have fun. Mm-hmm. And I remember having fun. We're laughing, we're playing, doing something. It was a paint commercial, Rust-Oleum. And I hear, can she stay back? Right? Talking to me. And I'm like, fine, let's stay back. Let's play some more, play around. I'm like, okay. And then that was my first commercial I booked.
No way.
And that renewed for like 3 years. It was awesome.
Oh,
it was probably the best one I've ever
That's
booked.
unreal. Jesus,
Yeah.
3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
And then that was my life for a while. So I kind of had that no care attitude, and I started booking commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial. And so what was awesome about that is I learned to kind of take my anxiety and my being afraid, and I learned to channel it into something different, into maybe paying attention or having a conversation or just, I don't know, just being present. You know what I mean? And when I figured out how to do that, that kind of went over into other parts of my life as well. And then so now what's awesome about that is because I had that experience and have that experience, it kind of went into my Instagram and I use that. Right. And so it all, without me even realizing what it was for, all kind of directed me in this way. And the doors open
that
there.
made you successful in this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Using fear to push you rather than stand in your way.
Exactly.
In a way. Yeah. And gain that confidence. That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you left this spot. You didn't have an idea. You took a leap of faith. You followed your gut. But some point between leaving and joining and becoming a trainer sounds like you had a burst of confidence and a burst of empowerment. Am I wrong in saying that? Was it maybe not that time frame, but at some point here you had to have gone from shit, I can't run, to I have 60 hours worth of clients a week. That had to bring you confidence, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why it was hard to leave the job.
Was your confidence attached to that?
In ways, yeah, for sure. For sure. But it wasn't, my feeling and my intuition was probably what what was the driving force behind all of the rest of it. So
Totally.
that took over. Yeah, I also had a weird sense of confidence in what I could possibly do, which is, I think, what every entrepreneur needs, is a sense of knowing that something is going to happen that's better. And that was a big part of it. Had I left and been like, oh, let's just see what I can do, blah, 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 but had no reason to believe that there's something else out there for me, that would have been just plain stupid. But my reason for, I knew that there was a greater purpose for what for me. There was a greater purpose for what I'm meant to do, if you will.
You had a bigger belief. Sure, I get it. I mean, for me, I never really, it's going to sound arrogant, I never really had a problem with confidence. I was always like, a lot of people feel social pressure. I don't. I just don't give a, shit. And I never have. I don't know if I ever will. And confidence is not a problem I've had. And that's not outwardly. I'm just inwardly confident on what I can do, and I hope that doesn't come off as arrogance because I don't mean it to, but
I think what it comes off as is you've never reached rock bottom. Because here's the thing. I was confident growing up. I grew up with 5 brothers. I didn't have to chase boys. I had everything I needed. I took what I needed if I didn't have it. I made it work. I made it happen. I didn't second guess or question. I just did it. And then I had kids. And then it dropped me like a pile of bricks. I was just done. It shook my world. It shook my beliefs. It shook my confidence. It made me realize, and there's other circumstances surrounding it, of, like in anyone's life, but it made me realize that I'm not fully in control, no matter how much I think I am. And so instead of calling it confidence, I think it was more of a knowing trust that things are going to be okay eventually, or that my decision was based on something that wasn't purely for my own sake. So if you're putting a service into the world, if you're putting something greater than what you are and what you believe in for yourself, for other people, for your children, for the world, for whatever, I believe that there's something, like, if you want to call it karma or whatever it is, it's going to come back and help push you in that direction. And I think that was part of my confidence. So it wasn't just a confidence in myself. Because as you know, I mentioned, I mean, going into shoots and going into doing different things, sometimes I don't have that confidence. Yeah. And I have to ask him for it, right?
Find a way.
Yeah. So maybe that's more my confidence. It's not from within here. It's from where I know I can source it from. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. No, it does. It does. I get that. There's a higher power in a way, for sure. I mean, I'm a spiritual guy. I don't claim any one religion. The confidence thing is like, I just have a divine faith. I don't know. I just have a divine faith where, like, yeah, maybe it's not going to work out at all, but, like, that's okay. And if it totally works out, that's okay too. Like, I'm totally indifferent, but at the same time, like, really driven to make it go one way. I don't know. I'll be honest, man. I just, like, I don't really get too deep on myself on podcasts, but, I had a really terrible childhood, and, like, domestic violence and childhood abuse and drugs, violence, like different foster homes, like literally everything. My parents split. My parents were never together. They split when I was 4, and then they got back together. I was in child custody and until I got 16, where I could just be like, fuck it, I'm not leaving with either of you people. And I went to a foster home, and things worked out great in the end. But through all that, I was just like, I remember thinking as a kid, like, well, it can't get any worse, so it's only going to go up. And that gave me a confidence. I think that's where my original confidence came from, was just like, well, shit, if it's this bad, and it's really bad, and I can go through all these reasons why it's bad, I know it's going to go up, because someone, when I was really young, some, elder in the community or someone just told me that life is about balance, and life is always going to come to a balance in nature, in business. It doesn't matter. Like, literally, it's called the Elliott wave theory. And the Elliott wave theory is literally that stocks are going to mimic natural patterns that you see in nature. Fibonacci sequence. These are day trading patterns, different thing. But I was taught that balance is a thing. And so my logic was that, okay, like we're so far down one thing, like that's really awesome because the rest of my life is just going to be so far up the other way.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Like, that's it. And I've no idea who put that in my head, but it's like, it's super in there.
Yeah.
And so every time, something goes left, I'm just like, you know what? Sweet. Like, I'm like, it's essentially like, yeah, I just won the lottery in 3 years.
Right.
Like, why not? And that's what just maybe a lie I've always told to myself, but like, it gets me through.
Yeah.
I don't know where that idea came from, but
Expectations, maybe. I don't know. I feel you. I think that like even with me nowadays, I think more in the last year or two, is that things go great. I have wonderful situations, and I'm just like, oh, this is awesome, and then they go back down to real life, right? And then they come back up again.
Yeah.
And I think that what I've learned through whatever I've gone through in my life is that there are going to be highs, there's going to be lows. When things are high, they're going to come down. So for me personally, I drop my expectations on all of it.
yeah.
Right? I find that when I have those expectations, whether it's high or low, if they're not fulfilled either way, that in itself is a discouragement.
If they're not fulfilled either way.
Right? So if I'm like, this is going to be great, this is supposed to be great, everything is leading towards greatness, and then it doesn't happen, like that sucks, man. Right? And then your low is even lower than maybe what you would have been had it just gone, if you had no expectation, it happened as it was. Yeah. And then you just brought back down with the natural law of gravity.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas the same thing, if you have an expectation for a great low, I feel like you manifest that lowness and it ends up being worse. But if you just have no expectation and just take what comes, whatever it is, then it just goes as it is. And then it goes back to the normal balance of life.
Yeah. Okay. So on that exact same wave, I'm a believer in there's a purpose, there's a plan. I don't like that word very much, but there's dotted lines that we're going to follow or whatever. There's some form of, again, destiny is not a word I like, but I'll use it here. And at the same time, I'm completely on the other end of the spectrum where I'm just like, yeah, if I want to make something happen, I'm gonna bend the laws of gravity, earth, and time to make it happen. And I know those are like conflicting ideas, and I know that you're a person that might believe in a higher power and a purpose and a plan, but at the same time, you're like, you flipped the entire script on your plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's my belief in that. My mom, actually, she said this recently because my mom's had 2 strokes, and she's pretty much paralyzed her entire left side.
Oh my gosh.
And she's, she goes in between trying to do some physio and getting herself to walk, and I help her with that quite a bit. And she says, I pray and I know that I will be better, right? And I said, that's great, She said, but God doesn't want a lazy person. Just because the plan may be for me to get better or not, whatever the outcome may be, it doesn't mean I sit idly by and let myself just waste away. I need to keep working towards it. So maybe that fire that you get from where you think it's coming from is really not coming from where you think it's coming from, and from somewhere else. That's saying, hey, go out and fight for your beliefs. Go out and fight for what you want. Go out and fight for that. That's my plan for you. You don't even know it. I'm just saying, right? You don't know.
Hypothesizing.
Yeah.
Thesis.
And that's how I look at it is I will work my ass off. But when I work in a direction where I'm creating something or I'm making something happen, when I actually know my intuition or my inner feeling or maybe God letting me know this is not really the path I'm supposed to be leading, it always backfires. Yeah. Right? Like a relationship that you want to work, but you guys aren't meant for each other. It may be awesome for a few minutes. Yeah. In the end, you guys aren't going to be together. You know what I mean? That sort of idea.
Yeah. It's just cross-referencing everything you're saying with, years of experience. I end every, a lot of the time when I talk with, intelligent people like yourself, these are concepts, ideas, unrefined, rough, theses that I just, formulate in my head and try to run with until I realize, oh shit, that was wrong. I think that's a huge part for a lot of young people. Like just me as a 22-year-old, it's like, how am I going to avoid as many mistakes as possible and not believe something's real? Like, yes, okay, I think this, but I'm going to be very aware that it's, probably wrong, right? Like, even though I believe right now, it's probably wrong, right? And maybe I'll never figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll never ever figure it out, and that's fine. Just being happy with that, but it's really hard for a person like me to be happy with that. Like, no, I want answers. Damn it, I want to know. But I also want to go back to confidence, man, because
one more thing you said.
Ahead. What's up?
Just touch on that. My dad used to say to me, he goes, Carmel, when he was trying to convince me that God is real.
Sure.
He used to say to me, he goes, I could tell you that this apple is not an apple. And he's holding an apple in his hand. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face. But the truth is, it's an apple. No matter how many times I tell you this apple is not an apple.
It's an apple.
It's an apple.
Okay.
So take it as you will. Just like, and this is his belief, God is God. He's there. You can deny him. You can tell me that he's not real. You can tell me that there's no higher power. You can tell me all of that. But if he's there, it doesn't matter what you say or think or any of that stuff, right? Nothing you tell me is going to change the fact the apple's in my hand. It's still there.
Yeah.
Another perspective. I don't know. Yeah. I just had to say it because it just reminded me of
the same
conversation I had with my father. You were saying confidence.
An apple is an apple. Yeah, now you got me on another thing. Confidence.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll talk apples and oranges later. I coach basketball.
Yeah.
Coach basketball, and a lot of kids have this problem, man, where it's like they put in the time, the hours, the work, and they just game time comes, and they just can't put it together. And I think a lot of that has to do with confidence. And then I see that in young women that are around me, and I'm talking about people that are like killers, go-getters, like people that are like, yeah, I can do this, and or whatever it may be, and they're entrepreneurs or they're killing it in whatever world that they're in, or women that are close to me. It's just like I see this, and then there's always this one point where you're like, yeah, but I can't do that. And I'm like, why not? Like I erupt immediately.
Yeah.
Obviously. And I just want to know from your perspective, where does that, but I can't do that, come from? Why?
I believe because a lot of people would rather not try than fail. And I don't think it's only girls, but I think girls are definitely the majority. I used to be like that too.
Oh, sorry for the record. There's tons of guys like that for sure. I'm just saying that people in my immediate is like, because guys don't talk about their feelings, right?
Yeah, they don't. They just punch and kick.
Right, and break things.
Yeah. No, I think that a lot of people are afraid of failure more than they are of trying and winning. Actually, I think a lot of people have a fear of succeeding. What I mean by that is that once you've done it and you've accomplished something, what then? It's like now there's an expectation.
Uh-oh.
Right? So now it's like, okay, I've done it. I've come to that point. I did it. I did well. And now they want me to do it over again. But I don't remember how I did that. Right? And I don't know if it's going to be good the next time around. Yeah. So a lot of people actually, and I myself included, have a fear of succeeding. Now what do I do? What if they want me to do this over here? But this is not something I created. This is something that just happened when I was doing.
I don't know how it happened.
Yeah. How do I do this over here when I'm asked to do it? I don't know how to do it. And so now there's a new fear, and now there's a new expectation. I think that's very fearful.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I've been through it many times. And this is the thing I was telling Clavinder, actually. I was like, this is the year I've decided to not fear things. Well, I'm sorry. My bad. I'll fear it. I'm still going to do it. Right. And I've done that before, but I mean on a different level.
Okay. So how was it before and how is it now?
So before, my fear was, I fear everything. I just trying something new, setting a new goal. All these things there's fear because I don't know if I can accomplish it because of whatever reasons, but now my fear is growing bigger. My stuff right now, everything that I've been doing for the past few years, I've got so much on the go, but I haven't, I've got a bunch of doors that are open in front of me. They're unlocked and they're just waiting for me to step through. But I don't know what's on the other side. And I'm just waiting, kind of standing here, just waiting for me to know first before I take that step. Because I know that once I cross over, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
And we were talking before about building a team and having the right people around you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to do that yet as of yet. And I'm doing that now. And so that was my plan this year is I'm going to take a leap of faith, talk to the people I trust the most and ask them to join me and do it together and welcome the fear,
Welcome.
step into the light or whatever it might be.
Yeah, trust. Trust.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's January. Everyone's sick. I totally get it. I'm trying my darndest to try to have it miss me, but
No.
I fail a lot. And man, yeah, trust is such a hard thing, and we experience it internally here at Self-Fired. I experience it personally. I experience it in corporate world. I also experience it athletically in coaching. Being afraid to fail. I never actually put that, or afraid to succeed, rather. I'm definitely not afraid of failure. I like it. It's fun. It's really fun. Because people count you out, and that's fun.
Yeah, because
right?
you can
Because you're
school
like,
them later.
I got you. Yeah. You think that? Okay, think that, right?
But you have to learn that feeling.
Yes, through multiple beatings
Yes.
and falling down and getting back, fall fast and all that.
Yeah.
But being afraid of success, man, wow, that's powerful. I coached and I started coaching on a whim. Someone asked me, and I ended up, I've done camps with NBA guys, and I've been in gyms that I shouldn't have been in, and I just was put in a position to be in, and I was just so scared. And that was fun. I went to the fear. I've been trained to do that. That's how you get through sports. You're nervous for a game, go kill it. That's one thing. But I was always like, oh my God, and we do this with a podcast too, now that I think about it. I would always want the workout or the camp to just kind of mess up. Just mess up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like just mess up to a point where it's not disastrous, but it didn't go great.
Yeah.
Like it went okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like we could have done some things better. So I could have a point of improvement. And so that next time when I go around that, the expectations wouldn't be that high, and then I could just live to what I thought my human potential was, right?
Yeah.
But you can grasp above your human potential, and shit. Now that I'm saying this, I think about this all the time with the podcast, and I mentioned this very briefly, like when we went into this, we had no idea what we were doing. I had no idea what I was doing, and every one that we did, it was really good. It was really, really good, and we got a vibe every time. And I was just, we'd finish the podcast, the guests would leave. I'd look at Kevin, I'd look at Val, and I'd be like, "Fuck, why?" We're going to mess up. I don't know how we're going to mess up, but one of these days it's just going to go terribly, and this, that, and the other. Like, don't expect it to be good every time. That was just a fluke, and then the fluke happened 10 times, and now the fluke has happened 20 times, and the fluke's going to happen 80 more times. And I still don't know. And I say that, and I'm trying to manifest and get myself to believe that in a way, right?
Yeah,
even with yourself coming on here, I'm like, oh man, this better go good. If it doesn't go good, what's going to happen? I don't know, right? And part of me wants something to mess up, because this is another thing.
Because you know that feeling, you know how to get back from it.
Because I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And how weird is that?
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Have you ever been to Scandinavia?
No.
In Scandinavia, I played basketball there for a year in Denmark.
Oh, neat.
They put an emphasis on being comfortable. So they call it hygge, which is like comfortability, togetherness, tea, cozy, warm, sugar, donuts, relaxing, fun together, right?
All the things that come with comfort.
All the things that come with comfort, food, sleep, whatever. And I went over there to get better, and I was like, we learn to be uncomfortable, right? As athletes, we learn to be uncomfortable. And so I went completely the other way, and they hated me for it. If you were in a situation like that, I'm not going to tell you how I dealt with the situation, but if you're in a situation like that where maybe, you're with a team of trainers, or you're in a situation where everyone wants to hang out and just be, glam photos, or don't do a real workout, just take the photos, spray some water on you, whatever. How do you react to a situation where everyone wants to be comfortable, but you want to go the other way?
I find my place in the middle or on the corner of a room, or I take my moments out. I take time outs. I find my spaces. I have to. And I don't owe it to anybody to explain to them why. I think that's a big thing when you go and there are certain expectations of how you should be socially, many times I'm in a room with a bunch of people that are, doing a commercial or whatnot. And in order for you to stay focused, sometimes you have to bow out of the conversations that are had, you know what I mean? And I think just, finding your space and not being apologetic for taking that time out to collect yourself, I think is reasonable and it works.
That takes a certain confidence.
It's kind of not a confidence, but more of a, I don't care, because it has to get done and that's how I process and that's how it gets done. So that's what I'm going to do.
It's more of an, I don't care. Yeah.
Right. Because if I sat there and thought they're going to think this, they're going to think that, oh shoot, they're not going to like me.
Back to your days.
Then I'm going to be sitting there and I'm not going to be what I need to be when I need to be it.
Your feet are going to go numb. Your fingers are going to go numb. All the
That's
heart's going to go to the blood. The blood's going to go to the heart.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you learn that because I used to go to these auditions, and these auditions, there's sometimes there's hundreds of people. Sometimes and they're all right there, all crowded.
Right in front of you, and you're looking
there.
at them.
Yeah. And you got lines or you've got things that you got to do and you got to do it. And you got to either find your space if there is one. And if there isn't, you're doing it right there. And you got to be able to say, okay, this is my moment to do what I need to do. Forget about who's watching. In the room, there's about 15 people watching you anyways.
Doesn't matter.
It feels different when you're amongst your peers that you're kind of not competing with, but trying to get the spot.
There's one spot. There's,
right?
Yeah.
I think if you can find your center, this is the thing that I've learned over, I guess, the years of being around in the industry a bit, is that finding how to get back to yourself, right? Because a lot of people will bring out happy Carmel or happy this or sociable this person or whatever to get into the mood, to get into that gameplay or whatever you need to be. And being able to retract that and just being like, how would I speak to my husband, my children? What kind of a conversation or what would I be doing if I was just alone here? Like, these are the things that you have to be able to center yourself to in order for you to kind of be okay with, like, getting out of the situation that you asked me about, which was, taking your time out or being around people and still being able to do your thing and not feeling like you have to do what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. You're taking me so far off my game plan because I'm thinking, that's how good things happen though. It's
because I've done the other.
Right.
I've done the other.
Probably
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just sit there and you're like,
there's
my
what do I do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
I don't have anything. Shoot. And then that that anxiety intensifies because you're right on the spot now and you take that into the room or you take it into wherever you're going and now you've lost your job.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to find your moments. It doesn't matter what they think, because if it did, then your life right now is being dictated by all those people around you. And if that's the case, you're not living your life. You're living theirs. You're living what they think you should do.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're not you anymore.
God, that comes through in a lot of stuff you do. Do you still do a lot of acting?
I don't. I actually, I haven't been with I'm with my agency, but I just haven't been going out for anything for the past year and a half or so. I kind of pulled back, but that was because I really wanted to focus on my brand. And the great thing is I still have connections with the clients that I've worked with in the past, so they contact me directly, which is nice. I have that relationship with some of them, which is great.
So where are you now? Like, where are you now in terms of career, life, direction? I know you look great on the outside. What's going on in the mind?
There's always a battle in the mind.
Of course.
I'm trying to figure out, where to kind of put my energy in. I've already got things in place. Just trying to figure out which path is going to be not the quickest to where I guess the success is or whatever it is, but more like, for my game plan, which is I would like for my programs, Body Mom Method, my YG12 series that I've created, which are workout programs that I've created for the athlete or the average Joe or the mom, the dad, to take on kind of a life of its own. Like there's Pilates, there's CrossFit, there's stuff like that. I'm trying to create the Body Mom method, which is body mastery. And essentially that's what I feel like my programs are about. They're about kind of getting to know your body and creating the most ninja out of it as you possibly can get, using all forms of influences like sport conditioning, maybe a bit of yoga, Pilates influence, definitely some MMA, animal flow, all of it. These things, all dance, huge into dance, probably because I can't dance. And now I feel like I can a little bit because of my jump rope skills.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Right. So I really want to create an educational piece for it so that trainers can get certified in it. And I eventually could help them get some exposure and get people to start training the Body Mom method.
And that's what Body Mom Media is about, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm putting the pieces together now too. Okay. So, hold on. I gotta ask. You are so untraditional in your training methods. I understand that you were like, I wanted to grab my kids and I wanted to find a way to do it, and I get that's an inspiration for sure. But on a more technical or analytic side, where did you draw this knowledge from? Because I've seen the ACE program and it doesn't necessarily talk about animal flow or yoga incorporations. It talks about bench presses and contractions and muscle stabilization and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily go there. How did you get this knowledge and where?
So again, a lot of it's just through experiencing with my own body, right? When I worked at Steve Nash, we did a number of different certifications, worked with TRXs and RIP trainers and all this sort of thing. And I have those certifications and whatnot. But I think honestly, with it comes, just experiencing of the body. I learned from other people that have a lot of mobility skills. I talk with them, I collaborate with them, I work with them. And then I just kind of take whatever my training is. So whatever my training is, there are certain rules when it comes to training, There's certain rules of the body that you would have to adhere to so that you don't get hurt. So I take those basic rules of training and then I lump them in with my gymnastics training. I lump them in with the sport conditioning. I lump them in with what you do on the bed. I lump them in with all of that stuff, but I keep the rules.
Yeah.
Right? The rules of training, the rules of not getting hurt. And then I put it together and create
the
a
physiological
program.
rules.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. There, for the average person, there are some rules that if you just stick to those specific things and understand, little bits of the body like stacking, keeping the spine neutral, things like that, movement patterns, things like that even the average person can actually do really, really well in their own training regime, right? There's a lot of information out there, but if they stick to those specific rules, they would do okay.
Who are you paying attention to in these worlds, in these realms?
Oh.
Who are you gaining information from?
I have a lot of inspiration that comes from a lot of people. I'm in the Instagram world, so that...
Okay, yeah, no, listen, it's 2019, Carmel, don't worry about it. It used to be Facebook, now it's here.
No, I full credit to these guys. There's some people that definitely inspire me. For business, for movement, for training, all of this, right? There's Michael C. Vasquez. He's amazing.
Can we pull him up? Can we check his stuff out?
Michael, hey. I'll be actually doing some collaboration filming work with him, hopefully in March. I'm going to head out there.
Oh, he's a dad.
He's a dad, yeah.
He does cool stuff with his kid.
Yeah, he's a b-boy.
Gangster.
Yeah, he's
I love it.
So he's amazing.
I think I know what you're talking about, but maybe I don't. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, yeah.
You'll know as soon as you see him if that's the guy you're talking about.
Okay.
I love people like Hunter Fitness. So Hunter's awesome. He's mobility crazy. He talks about cars and his program is he does a program and he does a lot of teaching and he travels, and I'm going to hopefully see him the next time I'm in LA and we're going to meet together.
That's so cool. You can see all these people. I got to interrupt you. Bree, please write these names down because I'm going to take them later. And if you can pop up someone's IG or YouTube or something, I want to see what you're seeing and what you draw from it.
Yeah, these guys are awesome.
Okay, so Vasquez, Hunter.
Yeah. Who else? Hannah Fitness, Hannah Eden. I just actually did some work with her. She's amazing.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's awesome. And he's super down to earth. Look at his stuff. You just got to look at his stuff. He's pretty phenomenal.
What? What?
He's like power and speed, agility, and b-boy. He's just...
Is he wearing Converse too?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, the funny thing about he and I is that
Man.
we've been friends for about 4 years on Instagram, and I was in LA filming a few months ago, or
That's the
I can't
first
remember.
thing that he's done that I can do. Just kidding.
You got to see some of his b-boy stuff. That's it's the best.
I think this is the guy I saw just doing like push-ups and squats with his kid on his back and stuff. I don't know. I
Oh
saw
yeah,
some
most
really
likely.
cool stuff.
Most likely.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what did you draw from Michael?
I just love the fact that, he does handstands like I do. So that was the first initial introduction, how we kind of...
Yeah. You do handstands. I do handstands.
Oh my gosh.
Sweet.
This is awesome. But he brings in a little bit of animal flow. He's doing up there as well. But his b-boy, so he brings dance into it, which is my ultimate... I wish I was a dancer.
Sweet.
Right? So for me, I
So
wish I was a
bear
dancer.
crawl.
And he does jiu-jitsu now. I think he's been doing that for a bit.
What is this? What is this? What is this?
This is an animal flow.
What is what?
So
Why?
I don't know the animal flow official kind of training, but some people do this, and basically I know when you go back, you load the beast, and then you bring the beast out, and it's like...
Ooh. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting jealous. Can you turn it off for me?
Yeah, these are some amazing people. I love people that know mobility. Dr. Jen Esker, I think her name is. She's amazing. She was actually dating Lewis Shows at Lewis House, or what's his?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyways, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That part doesn't matter. My point being that she's inspirational and she deals with a lot of mobility, and she's really good at what she does. These people are really good at what they do, and they have influences from different things, like different backgrounds. Jen is amazing at her handstands and her flexibility.
These people.
Yeah, and he's amazing with his handstands and his crazy b-boy stuff. And Hannah's just a Titan girl. She's just like
Hell yeah.
fiery redhead, just crazy awesome. And
Sweet.
you know, there are pieces of me that I wish I was, that if I can take even a little bit, I'll use that in my training of, you know, what's her name? Kaisa Fit. Have you heard of Kaisa? Oh, put Kaisa on. She's a powerhouse.
Okay.
Powerhouse. She trains with Just Train, and they train Kevin Hart. He trains Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Amazing. Like she's just a powerful, powerful woman.
Sweet.
I think her background is track. Yeah, just people that are super inspirational, and you know, and they're pretty real. Like
They're pretty real.
I've
Well, you
talked
know them, so
I've talked to. Well, no, I don't know them, but
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of them, you know, via Instagram or some in person.
yeah. You recommending these people means a lot, because I see a lot of people on Instagram like, oh, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
these people have skills. It's
Yeah.
not like I don't. That's why I follow them, because they're beasts and they know what they're doing, and they give it everything.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like a Titan.
Oh, she's crazy. No, Hannah's the one I was talking about this, but she's also amazing.
Oh, she's also okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh.
what I was saying about Michael is that we had been Instagram friends for about 4 or so years, and I was doing a photo shoot, and it was at his gym that he trains at, and he was walking in with his son, and I look over and I'm like, Michael. He's like, Carmel. And we hung out and we did a quick video together, and we're like,
Aw.
this is the first time we've met, and we didn't even realize it, because we've been talking for so long
So
that we didn't
crazy.
even know that we had not met yet. Like, that's how small the world brings us in
Digital
with this whole
age,
social
right?
media stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That's crazy. Are you familiar at all with the guys over at On It Academy? You ever heard of that?
On It.
On It Academy.
I believe I've heard of On It, but I'm not familiar with.
On It Academy. Bring up their website if you want. On It Academy is pretty cool. It's just about holistic human optimization. How do we get the most out of our minds, our bodies, our souls, everything.
Yeah.
And they have a physical On It Academy in Austin, Texas, I believe, where they do animal flow, they do MMA, they do sports specific training, they
Nice.
have
Yeah.
like, you know, sports science, they go all out. And then they also do like they do stuff like this where it's all nutrition based. They deep dive on keto, they deep dive on veganism, they deep dive on everything. And it's just like, it's led by, that's very, very cool. Like, that's talk about a dream job. They do nootropics and how to enhance, you know, cognitive enhancers and stuff like that. So cool. I love all that stuff. As well as just the basic quote unquote training,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They go into everything and how to become more empathetic and stuff like that. And they use themselves as test subjects. So it's a whole team.
Oh, interesting.
They do recipes too. They make their own products. They do MCT oils. Like, it's super freaking cool. I will, yeah, if I'm ever in Texas, I'm going there for sure. But it's headed by two gentlemen, Kyle Kingsbury and Marcus Aubrey Marcus. Sorry. And they are, two beasts that were both MMA fighters. And they had a progression of just being animals physically, mentally, callous the mind, just be able to go stronger, be able to be faster, go longer, and just outdo, whether that's, Ironmans or crazy shit. And then just like, whatever, we can do it. Or, exercising the Wim Hof method and breathing and stuff like that. So cool. And then they just took a total turn and were like, shit, I'm just a douchebag that thinks he knows stuff. Oh, that's what I am. I get it. Oh, okay. And I love that realization. And I don't think I've had that moment yet where I'm like aware of it. I'm trying to like find some method of inspiration. But I say all this just to ask, what other things are you aware of or learning about in holistic human optimization? Is there anything?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Life, man. Seriously.
Life, bro. Yeah.
There's definitely, I mean, training is not just about the physical. It's about the mindset. It's first the mindset. And everything plays a role. Your family life, your job, your character, your upbringing, all of it plays a role. Holistic, if you will. It's just, like you cannot just sit there and say, I'm going to become this and only train physically. It's just, you won't get anywhere. You know what I mean? So I believe, everything plays a role. You gotta take from every aspect of your life. Your training goes into every aspect of your life, and every aspect of your life goes into your training.
I look at it like it's a foundation for everything. Like I just can't, like, it's like training is point A and you can't go to point Z without point A, so you might as well just get it out of the way. But yeah, I like these guys that they callous the mind and stuff like that. And it plays back into what you're all about in terms of finding a way to get a workout in short amounts of time, but be effective in that short amounts of time.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I don't want to do it. Or like, there's that moment of like, I feel like shit today. I feel this like all the time. And I found ways to go through it, but it's just like, man, when I'm down in the dumps, how do I pull myself back up? How do I don't want to film a video today. I have to go get my kids. Like, I don't want to do this or whatever. There's a million things, right? How do you just flip a switch and do it?
I don't always flip the switch. Sometimes I just don't do it. And then
That's so hard for me to believe.
it's true. It's true. I'm all about balance, man. Like if I can't work up to it and I can't be real and I need that day to just, be like crap and just have my day of just crap.
Really?
I'll take it.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? If I don't, then the next few days are going to be feeling that way. And it's going to just be prolonging this feeling of crap and covering it up with the videos that I'm doing. It's you have to take your days. If you sit there and you try to always be on, you're going to burn yourself out. And I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done it all. And it sucks.
Yeah.
So I say that there's discipline, and there are more times that you should get up and out of bed and do the things you need to do and get it done even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's majority of the time. But there are some days where you need to lay in bed and just stay there. And that's okay. Even if it's for like an extra couple hours in the morning or, or whatever. Like if it means eating that piece of cake that I had on the way here. That's what it's about. Right? Like
transparency.
Honestly, if you sit there and try to be so strict, that in itself is stress. Like I can't tell you how much stress impacts your health. And this is probably the biggest thing that I have to give. If there's any advice when it comes to getting to your goals, being disciplined, eating habits, working out habits, all of it. if all of this stuff is stressing you to hell, then you're already defeating the purpose of all of these things you're trying to accomplish. Do you know what I'm saying? Meal planning, it is awesome if you can make that happen. If you're stressing yourself out to death trying to meal plan, you're probably doing a lot far worse damage to yourself than you are doing better.
Yeah.
So weigh out the battles that you need to fight.
The negatives and the positives.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, do what you can with what you've got. And then the rest that you don't, let it go. It'll come back around, I promise you. All that shit comes back anyways, right? So just, it'll come back. Know that it will. And then when that comes back, you'll be a little wiser for the next time around.
Right.
Right? If you try to accomplish everything when it hits you, that you're going to die from just because of the stress.
You know, I knew you were insightful, and I knew you thought about these things and have talked about these things, but, you know, hearing it from the horse's mouth is just a little bit different. And I think I've heard you speak about these things in a little bit different way than I think I've heard it in the past. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I'm sitting in front of you and not in front of a screen. I don't know, but it feels different.
You know why? Because not everybody wants to hear it. That's the truth. Some people don't really care. And it's hard gauging, and maybe I need to stop. Maybe this is one thing I need to do more, is not worrying about spending a little bit more time trying to say these things a bit more or a bit better or a bit deeper, because some people don't want to hear it. And I think that it's hard to talk to a wall.
But yeah,
it's hard,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I do always tell myself in the end is, even if one person gets this, and if one person can do better because of it, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to remember all the time.
Yes. So I have to ask, what do people not know? What does the general public, the people that see you online, in person, or maybe at some spot you're speaking at, or in the gym with you, what do they have no clue about? Is there anything that you can shed light on that maybe you haven't had the platform or the opportunity to do it in less than 60 seconds?
Or maybe that I don't want to share?
Or maybe that you don't want to share. I mean, I don't want to put it like that. But like
I have a temper. I have a temper. I always have.
In what way? In the way of like, I just see him and he makes me mad, or in the way of like, he did this and I feel a way about it, but like, it's okay. I see my anger and I understand it, but so I'm not angry, but I'm kind of angry, but it's okay, but don't worry about it, but I'm still kind of mad. Or is it just kind of like yeah, dude, what the hell?
I have a temper where I like to punch holes in the wall.
Oh,
temper.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah. But once it's out, then it's out.
Really?
Yeah. I don't hold grudges. I'm not, and I don't get mad very easily. That's the thing. So when I do get mad and I do punch a hole in the wall, it's for a good reason usually, or I'm passionate, or something's happened to really hurt me, or something's festering or something. So I try not to let that happen.
Damn.
And it doesn't happen very often. But I have punched a few holes in the wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Growing up, for sure. And then maybe once or twice in my adulthood.
Fuck.
Nowadays, it's called slam ball.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, because
totally.
there are days where I go in and I kill that ball.
Damn.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah.
Completely savage. That's yeah. I wouldn't have believed it 3 hours ago, or however damn long we've been doing this freaking podcast, but I kind of believe it now. I can definitely see there's a line inside of there.
There's passion behind it. I believe in the things that I believe in, and sometimes it's the anger that I believe in, and I will let it out.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
On that note, we have been going for a long time, and I don't really give a damn. But you know what? I gotta ask, I like to put things in context and perspective, and I like to see in retrospect, because a lot of, like you said, it's all about the journey. In retrospect, how you reflect on things and your problem solving practice, or your problem solving methodology, or how you were like, could have done this, could have done that, but I did this, and this is why. You know, because that to me is where listeners have a lot of value. You know, I can extract a lot of value because I have problems every day, and I think I constantly check myself, and I'm like, am I dealing with this the right way? Right? Am I attacking this problem or not attacking it? Should I even be thinking about it? You know, like my mind, I have one of those minds that just goes and goes and goes, right?
Same here.
You know, and that's probably why we work out, because it just calms it just a tad, and that little tad, man, I'll do anything for it, right?
Yeah.
What was your biggest mistake? What was your biggest success? And why did you do both of those things? What was your thinking at the time? She's giving us the Kanye pause, the pregnant pause.
I don't know. The biggest mistake? I don't think I've made the biggest mistake yet.
Oh,
But that doesn't mean I haven't made plenty. It just means that I think everything has been a stepping stone to where I'm now. So can I really call it a big mistake? And if I was to pinpoint one, I don't think I have one.
like maybe a pivot that you should have stayed with, or maybe you should have stayed dedicated to those clients longer, or maybe you shouldn't have let yourself fall off, or maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know.
No,
You really
all
don't
of those things, yeah. But no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Truth is, I'm so far from perfect. You don't even know. Like I make a lot of decisions sometimes based on a whim or based on an anger, you know, or something. And I those are instant regrets, or maybe, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. But I don't have anything large enough to say that has changed the way my life has been in any way to the point where I regret. None of that. Yeah. Sorry, I can't tell you that.
Wow.
But I'm sure
But I
something
have a
will
success.
come.
Oh, okay.
No, success. I don't have, again, I'm still trying to succeed. I think everybody is. I'm, you know, having my children, never regret that. Biggest success ever. The fact that they still love me and they're proud of me. Huge success. What else? You know what? The decisions I've made so far that have allowed me to be there for my mom and dad in the past year. Had I still been working at Steve Nash and working the 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., whatever it was, had I still been doing that, I probably would have been pretty good financially and all of that stuff. But I would never have the freedom that I have to take care of my mom and to be there for my dad and my family. And that to me is the ultimate freedom. If you can achieve that, because when something like that may come and you can do something with it, that is the best feeling in the whole world. That's my biggest success right now.
Wow.
Is being able to be there.
The freedom that you gave yourself to be able to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a philosophical question, right? Let's get a little bit more practical.
Okay.
You know, well, it's a philosophical answer, let me say.
Okay.
Right? Let's get a little more practical. So you leave a gym, you leave a great, you know, income, and people look at you on Instagram and they say, shit, man, I just want to be like her. I just want to be her. I just want that life. You know, I got kids now.
Do you really?
Hell yes. Hell yes. Thousands of people. It's not a small thing. I know because I see it. Listen, when I posted that super embarrassing handstand attempt, like I probably got 10 trainers being like, oh, gotta do this, 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 and this. Don't fuck up when you see her. Da, 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 da. And like you have an impact. Listen, anyways.
That's funny.
People will constantly be attracted to this idea of you that you've created, right? There are real merits and real things behind that idea, that picture, that person. There's a difference between the time that you left and the time that you're there, the time where you are right now. There's a freedom there. How did you create that? I mean, one of the most practical things is financial freedom. How do you survive now? How do you continue to do this? And how are you going to continue to build on this? Like, it's all so mysterious to me. Yes, I see it. She's amazing, but how does it work? What are the gears behind it, right? Why does she still do it? What's the motivation? Does she make money off all these posts? How does she do it? I don't see sponsorships. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
You know, like there's no, I just don't, I get the why, but I don't get the how.
Okay, so for everybody, it's different.
Right.
If I did this, if I did my journey based on just wanting that financial freedom, I probably wouldn't have gone because I would have had no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
For me, I am sponsored by a few people. I work with Garden of Life. You
Right.
know, they help me with all my protein, all my stuff like that.
Okay.
I work with a few companies. I still work with clients or companies that I get to go see.
Okay.
You know, I do photo shoots. I do things like that. I also have a program that I worked very
Right.
hard on.
Right. To create.
And this is my biggest one. I have an income because people buy my program.
Yeah.
And that to me is awesome because before I used to have to depend on shoots, on collaborations of some sort, of this and that. Is my check coming in the mail? When's it coming? Oh, I delivered it. It hasn't arrived yet. All this stuff, especially as an actor or someone who's an entrepreneur. These are the things that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you something. There's a lot of sacrifice. And if you're doing it just for the money, it ain't going to be it's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be super rewarding in the beginning. And then if you have that vision and that goal and you stick to it, which is why I don't have a lot of sponsors or collaborations, because I need to make sure that the people I collaborate with are people that are on the same journey, on the same path. I have an inbox full of requests
I'm sure you do.
for collaborations, for doing this, wear this, try this, post this for me, blah, 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 blah. Use this coupon, whatever, you name it. To be honest, I haven't been able to go through half of them, which is why I'm trying to build a team. Because I'd like to search for those that are like-minded, and I want to work with those, and I also want to help, if I can, for those that are trying to get somewhere and just need a little bit of a push, and we're aligned with the same goals. I can do that now, right? Before it was me, and pages used to help push my stuff, and that's how I got jobs. Instagram has been amazing. Social media has been amazing for networking and for jobs. Instead of me having to go through an agency and things like that, I get to talk right
To
with
the
the
person,
company.
yeah.
And talk with them, work with them, go meet them, go see them, and keep and carry on a really great relationship. So, you know, there's a lot of things, a lot of sources, but right now I put out a program. That program is mine. I own it. It's mine.
Yeah.
I created it. I spent a year of doing nothing but that.
Really?
We filmed it. My husband, myself, and a partner I had.
Yeah.
We filmed it. I created the program. He was the director. I was the director. I was the talent. I had a client that was with me that she lost about 100 pounds.
Oh my
Single
God.
mom at the
Wow.
time. And she did the workouts with me on the video. She's my client, you know. This is how we did it. This is how we created it. And I did it this way. I had other options. I had investors and I had apps that were asking me to join.
Sure you did.
But I didn't do it because I didn't think that they could capture the vision that I had. I wanted to do a lot more teaching than just putting a workout out there. So my
Right.
YG12 program, which is You've Got 12 Minutes, is not just a program that has workouts. It teaches them. It teaches them form, structure, frame. What does pull in the belly mean? You know what I mean? What does absorbing impact mean? What do those things mean?
Yeah.
That's out there.
Yeah.
And now I can join an app and do stuff like that. But that was my baby. And I did it. And
Yeah.
it worked. And it's out
You did
there.
it twice. Really? I
And
mean,
I have
YG12, YG20.
And I've got more coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you get a little sneak peek? Anything?
No.
Come on. Okay, whatever. We won't pry. We won't pry. We won't pry. We won't pry. Listen, I know the program. I literally got it from my girlfriend. It's awesome. I've done it with her. It's cool.
Awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yay.
Calisthenics is fun, bro.
Yeah,
Calisthenics
it's
is
good.
awesome.
The truth is you need to learn how to use your own body first before you try to start putting stuff on top of you and running with a weight that you can't handle. Like, you know, there's things that you need to do before all that stuff is there. And you'd be pretty surprised at what kind of muscle and lean, whatever you want to get and agility and all that stuff that you can get just from doing body weight training. It's kind of awesome. It's kind of
Being the
awesome.
master of your own domain too. Like, I'm here, I am this soul in this consciousness in this meat sack, and I want to figure out how I want to use this meat sack to do cool shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's me. I don't know. I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bigger picture, and you know, it's funny because for the first few years I was on Instagram, I was just on it. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no vision for that.
Yeah.
I just knew that I needed to do what my dream was about, right? That was what my plan was. I had no plan to get large on Instagram. I had no plan on creating a program. I had none of that. But when I started putting my workouts out there, I started getting messages. How do I? What do I? Do you have something? What can I? Please help me. Blah, blah, blah. That's where YG12 came from. It's like, how do I give them a program that they can do? Because all the excuses are, I don't have time.
Yeah.
How do I give them a program that they can do that they're not going to get injured because they don't have the proper training?
Yeah.
How do I give them a program that they can do in their home
Yeah.
because they can't get to a gym or they're too scared to get to a gym? How do I give them a program that's going to improve their endurance and their ability, stability, balance, and all that stuff in a 12-minute program? How the hell do I do that?
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
That's what you did.
Because that's what I used.
God, it's pretty genius when you think about it.
I hope so.
Not bad. Well done. Bravo.
Thank you.
And it's helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
A ton of people, and it's quality.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Carmel, I got a lot of stuff on this notebook, but you know what? We've gone for a long time.
Yeah, we've been talking forever.
We've been talking for a long time, and it's been a incredibly humbling and insightful and fulfilling conversation.
Awesome.
And I appreciate it. It's, I'll emphasize humbling for sure. And, just to have your perspective on, I keep on trying to build you up. And you're like, yeah, I'm okay. And I got a long way to go and this, that, and the other. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm trying to raise kids and I'm trying to get by and all this stuff. And it's, it's just one of those things where you see something or you meet someone and you're like, you know what? Yeah. And that's kind of all you have to say. You just get it. So I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Because I know that you do get a lot of requests and, you pick and choose. And I just hope that, people can get value from this and people can continue to learn from you and that your voice can go a little bit further than a 2-minute clip on YouTube or a 60-second clip on Instagram. And I think that was at least my goal a little bit.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks. It's been fun. It's been real.
It's been very real.
I've enjoyed this.
Thank you so much, Carmel. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into another one. I know it was long, but I know it was worth it too. So thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Amazing.